What up, folks? How you doing? This is TLP Sports Club on YouTube. Welcome. I appreciate you joining me today. The show that you are watching is TLP Live. I am your host, Harry B. The B means billion. Have a fun live for you today. Want to talk a little bit about, or just give you a quick reminder of the quarterbacks that were drafted in the 2025 NFL Draft, and talk slightly about what some of them are, going through and where they are. If I can, and then I want to end the show by talking a little bit about the intentions of the Cleveland Browns for Shedeur Sanders if they're trying to position him to get rid of him. Guys, we're going to talk a lot about that, but you know how we do. Before we do that, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. All right, so let's waste no time. Let's go ahead and get right to work. All right, so right on your screen, guys, you will see the rookie quarterbacks that were drafted in the 2025 draft. All right. Now you got Cam Ward, who was overall number 1. Cam Ward right now with the Titans. Cam Ward is the word on the street on what Cam Ward is doing in the with the Titans. Cam Ward is taking it one day at a time. He's becoming a leader. He's taking his time and he's trying to get in with he's doing all the right things. Cam Ward is saying and doing all the right things. He's coming in early, leaving late. He's getting along with everybody. He's working hard. His work ethics, everything is working the way that it's supposed to work. And a lot of people are looking at him as a leader. Now, you got to be a leader because he is the quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. So he's looking to go into this season and prove some kind of point. Now, what point that is, we're yet to see. Jackson Dart. Dallas is in the building. I just want to acknowledge that. Todd Smith, what up with you? Hope all is well. So Jackson Dart, he went in the first round, 25th overall, and he went to my New York Giants. Jackson Dart, the word on the street about Jackson Dart, it's okay. It's not great. He's not doing that well, but keep in mind that most people are not looking for the rookies, especially if they didn't get you to start right away for their team, like Cam Ward. You're going to be in a developmental position. They're going to be working with you to try to get your game up. So maybe later on, either they're going to trade you or they're going to now, position you to take over the team once whoever the veteran is leaves or gets hurt or something happens. But Jackson Dart, I guess he's coming along. A lot of people don't really have a lot of the writers and the street talkers, the YouTubers, the content creators, especially the content creators. They're kind of like, they're not giving him a good grade as far as where he was drafted. And I think the barometer is always going to be against Shador, right? Because a lot of people thought Shador should have been much higher. So I guess it's because of my timeline. When I look at it, a lot of the people that are, I guess, critiquing him, they're critiquing him against Shedeur and other things that are going on in the NFL. But yeah, he's not doing so great. But if you were to just grade him off of just plain old being a rookie, and everybody should just forget, like the presidency, right? If they're doing their job, like just do a regular job, nobody should care and nobody would know what's happening. Right? That's how it should be with the presidency. But if you have a firebrand like Obama or like Donald Trump, then yeah, things are going to get a little, sticky and you're going to hear a lot. But I think Obama was the one that said, bro, if you just do your job, people should not be this interested because it should be a boring job. All right, being a quarterback, being a backup quarterback, or being drafted to come in and play either a role in the team's future, it should be a boring job. Nobody should really care that much. But apparently, we care a lot more. But yeah, Jackson Dart isn't doing that well, according to the commentators. But I think he should be at where he should be at. He's a rookie and he's learning. That's exactly where he should be at. All right. And then we got Tyler Shug. Now, I don't know if you call him Shug or Shug, Show, whatever. He was second round, New Orleans Saints. Again, this one is another I guess grade him based on Shedeur, because Shedeur, I think a lot of people had in mind that Shedeur would go to the Saints because they needed a quarterback. So the fact that they took Tyler Shook over Shedeur in the second round, got a lot of people talking. And some of the footage that's actually rolling out in the universe or in the internet, not so great, right? Tyler Shook, he famously has the worst throw in the combine, and every time, that clip has gone viral. All right, so, and then he kind of continues in the training camp to really reminisce his draft, and the talk about him, it ain't good. It ain't good at all. I mean, people are doing videos and saying this guy is terrible. And yeah, man, Tyler Shook is not looking too good. Not at all. All right, let's make this screen a little bit bigger. Welcome to the chat, guys. I'm just reminding you of I'm reminding you of all of the quarterbacks that got drafted. And I would say, yeah, the quarterbacks that got drafted in the 2025 draft, just reminding you before I get to the Shedeur information. But yeah, the next one is going to be Jaylen Moore in the third round to the Seattle Seahawks. This is an interesting situation because he's actually behind a quarterback that I actually saw here in New York, right? So I don't know if he was part of that butt fumble situation, but Jaylen Moore, even though he was a third rounder, I think he was one of the most athletic quarterbacks in this draft class. And his upside is crazy. The things that he has to learn to get to the next level, I don't think it's that much. Because once you're athletic, then you can put it all together. Once you're athletic, you can if they are interested in you and they want to develop you, then you'll be able to put it all together. And it's not going to take that long. And the word on the street about Jaylen Moore is that he's actually ahead of the curve, ahead of his development and what people thought that he was going to be, right? Because you got to keep in mind his being the fact that he's from Alabama, or he played for Alabama, not from Alabama, but the fact that he played there. Most guys that play in the SEC, their confidence is going to be high, or at least it should be high. And then when you are an athlete like Jaylen Moore, I feel like he's coming into this league with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, because he felt like some of the guys that went ahead of him, I would say, especially Tyler Shook, because that's the one guy that everybody can say consensus that come on, I don't know what they were thinking. I have no idea what New Orleans was thinking. I don't know what they saw in Tyler that they just felt like we're not going to go after Milroe, and we're going to take Tyler. Yeah, that was a weird one. Well, before I continue, let me just say hello to my folks that are in the chat. I already said hello to Todd Smith, Bandwagon Browns. What up with you, Unspoken Sports Podcast? Hope all is well. Sell more is in the building. What up with you, Yahoo Phil? All right. Yahoo Phil. Okay. Skoski, what up with you? Ken Hood, hope all is well. So I'm just presenting this information. I just want to remind everybody, because also the reason why I'm doing this, because obviously this is a Shedeur, this is a Shedeur support system here. And then Obviously Shedeur, Colorado, and then obviously we get everybody else. But I'm doing this because I know a lot of people are kind of like caught up in the Shedeur sweepstakes, and we're consuming a lot of Shedeur content. But there's also football being played from other quarterbacks, and then also I believe that Shedeur is going to be one of those quarterbacks that if Cleveland does not do it the right way, people are going to say, I can't believe how they let him go. We all knew, or we all know now, right? But they're going to say we knew that Shedeur was at least this good. A lot of people still think that there's something weird about what Mary Kay and what the team is saying that he needs to work on. I don't know why that's a problem, because every single rookie needs to work on something, because you're coming from college. The NFL system is much different. But the way that I looked at it, it was supposed to be Shedeur Cam Ward or Cam Ward Shedeur. You can flip either one, and I don't think anybody would have gotten upset, even if you were a strong Shedeur fan. But then, I mean, obviously, we got Shedeur that just fell all the way down, so which is weird, right? And so yeah, so I don't understand why that happened that way. But when you look at it, who do you think, if you can even look at this list, who would you think is actually going to rise out of this? Because every single quarterback, I guess every single draft year, you get a group of quarterbacks, and then people have their takes or they have their commentary amongst the quarterbacks. But who do you think? Let me see if y'all are paying attention, or if y'all actually follow some of these guys in college. Who do y'all think? You can put it in your order of who you think is actually going to eventually, within the next 5 years, they're going to be the talk of either the NFL, or they're going to be the leader of their team. Right now, a lot of these guys are all vying for a job. They're all fighting for a job because they're rookies. Cam Ward probably ain't fighting for no job. Who else? Is anybody else fighting for a job? Yeah. Not too many people are fighting for. Not too many are starting for their team. So yeah, but I think, I don't know why Shedeur is not on this list. You see what I'm saying? This is what happened when you ask AI to do a job. Yeah, I don't see Shedeur on this list. Come on, Chat GPT. What are you doing? Like, what is this about? Where's Shedeur at on this list? Did I ask the wrong question? Anyways, but I think amongst the list, right? I think Shedeur is going to be one of the quarterbacks that we'll be talking about past the year number 2. We're going to be talking about Jaylen Moore, definitely. I think he's going to be one of the most talked about on this list. That's just my personal opinion, because I feel like if you pay attention to what's going on in the NFL right now, the NFL and the organizations, they're all about athletic quarterbacks. They're all about that athletic quarterback, the quarterback that can move, make room for themselves. It's a threat. You're going to have to plan for them. You know what I'm saying? Every time they get the ball, you feel a little uneasy, because you're like, oh, Lord, if that middle field is open. And you know how the NFL works, right? If, because once that red sea opens up and you're staring down that middle of the field, and the wide receivers have taken their DBs all the way down somewhere, or it just clears up, you can't help but to think that a mobile quarterback is going to take off. And that's what most fans are. They feel a little uneasy when you're playing a mobile quarterback, because they're always going to take off. You can just feel like, oh Lord, please throw it, at least so we can see an interception, or at least a possible catch or an interception. But if he takes off, that's almost like an easy 10 yards. So for those reasons, the reason why, the way that the NFL is actually trending, this is the reason why I think Jaylen Moore is probably has the highest ceiling of all the quarterbacks that were drafted in 2025. Once he get it together, I think his ceiling is very high. And then Shedeur and Cam Ward. I will have Milroe, Cam Ward, Shedeur, right? So Cam Ward and Shedeur can be interchanged. But I think Jaylen Moore is probably the biggest upside in this draft. That's just my opinion. I do want to hear from you, though. Let me see. Tyler Gerald Boxing said Tyler should. So, okay, so y'all putting your quarterbacks that y'all think has the highest upside or that's going to be talked about within the next 3 years. So, okay, what else you're saying? Let me see. All right. Todd Smith says Cam Ward. Okay. Gerald Boxing. I don't know if you know something that we don't know, but you say Tyler Shook. Okay. Seeking God Films says Jalen Moore reminds me of Jackson. I think he reminds me more of Jalen Hurts. I think he's more of Hurts. And his upside is crazy, man. Once he puts like the things that he's lacking, that most people say, oh, his game is missing this thing. I think once he puts it all together, he's the one that I want to watch the most. Outside of Shador, of course. Harry B in the place to be, but please just stay out of Cleveland. Shador's there. I couldn't stay out of Colorado, and I can't stay out of Cleveland. Because if you're a Cleveland fan, I got news for you. Your organization sucks. Somebody should have told you. I know y'all are like diehard Cleveland fans, but your organization sucks. And I'm sure you probably know that. It's not even a secret. You should know that. Y'all got 6 quarterbacks right now. Okay, let me just tell you, y'all got 6 quarterbacks right now, and the season already started. And y'all still going through your quarterback. Like, I'm not even ready for y'all. So please don't get me started yet. Let me go through my little list. Okay, I have my little show plan. Let me go through my little show. Okay, give me a break. Don't let me come for Cleveland yet. Because you're going to join me and be like, yeah, I know we suck. Damn, bro. Like, you ain't had to call us out like that. Come on, man. You know, we just like football. Okay, as long as somebody's throwing and somebody's catching and we got jerseys, we're good. Anyway, all right. So, did anybody else chime in? Okay. So I think it's going to be Jackson. I think it's going to be Jaylen Moore is going to be the biggest upside, and then we have. All right. So yeah. So that's Jaylen Moore. A lot of people are saying that he's really coming along very well, and yeah, and he's doing pretty well. And he eventually. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just let y'all know I didn't do the show the right way. That this is a call-in show, guys. I have right there on your screen, join TLP Live at Gmail. You can call in. Excuse me. Every time I drink, I'm burping. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. If it's your first time watching the show and you want to call in, you know exactly what you want to chime in on what I'm talking about, please go ahead and send me an email. I will send you a link. You can go ahead and come on to the show, and we can have a conversation or discussion about these topics. Also, right there on your screen, guys, is my Cash App. A lot of you guys are familiar with what I do here. I've put out a lot of videos. I do this full time. And so if you want to support with some cash, I would definitely appreciate it. $ TLP Sports Club, $ TLP Sports Club. I do appreciate, for those of you who have donated and you have blessed me, I want to say thank you. All right, guys. So make sure you write down that email, join TLP Live at gmail.com. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. We do a lot of content here and we provide good information. And it's a good place for you to come and talk football. It's very safe. And but we talk the real, all right? Even though I like Shador, if he does something wrong, he gets it too. You feel what I'm saying? It's just fair. If you're going to be sports talk, you can have your favorite, but you got to get up in there. No pause. All right, so next is going to be number 5, Dillon Gabriel. He was in the 3rd round from the Cleveland Browns. You obviously know this. Nobody would care. Nobody would think of anything if Shedeur was not in this picture. The only reason why we're even talking about Dillon Gabriel is because Shedeur is his competition. The two rookies that are competing for a job with the Cleveland Browns is Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel would just be from Oregon. He would have been from his 5 or 6 other teams, spent 20 years in college, go to the NFL and disappear. Nobody would care. Okay, he would be one of those guys that would be probably working with you in the cubicle next to you, depending on what his major was or whatever he ends up doing years from now, and being like Al Bundy was like, yeah, man, I was in the NFL. I got drafted. It didn't work out that well because I'm only 4'9". I'm 4'11" on a good day. And it didn't work out, but, yes, I was in the NFL. And, that's just how life goes. I'm sure some of y'all work next to a former NFL player. You feel me? So it's like, it's life. I ain't talking crazy. I'm just saying, like, that story would have been his story. He would have been an Al Bundy, and that's if Shedeur wasn't there, boom. But now, I would say it's like, Kaylin Clark and Angel Reese. Kaylin Clark is making mad money because of Angel Reese. So Dillon Gabriel, I'm sure he's making a whole heck of a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, from sponsors. His name is out there every single day. So somebody's going to give him a shot. He's going to become a journeyman sometime. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't know. Do they hire 4'9" quarterbacks often? I don't know. Anyway, that's number 5, Dillon Gabriel, 3rd round, Cleveland Browns. Y'all know him because of Shedeur Sanders. All right, so before we get to the 6th round, I would say that would be Shedeur would be in here because he was a 5th rounder. I don't know why ChatGPT, my virtual assistant, did not put Shedeur in here, because I'm sure she's like, well, Shedeur. I mean, I ain't got to tell you, Harry B. She talks back to me. I'm African. We don't like for our assistants to talk back to us. Anyways, we have Kyle McCoy, 6th round to the Philadelphia Eagles. He ain't gonna see no playing time, not anytime soon. You feel me? I haven't heard anything about Kyle. Did I say Tyler? Kyle McCoy. And if anybody knows Kyle McCoy and knows what he's been doing, if you're in the Philly area, I should have just called my family. Like, yo, have y'all seen anything from Kyle? Because they're in Philly, so, and they should probably keep track of the Steelers as well. Will Howard, we haven't heard much from Will Howard. I haven't heard anything on the wire. Nobody's really, keeping track unless you are a Pittsburgh Steelers content creator and you are in the cut somewhere. We don't really hear much about Will Howard. I mean, you should know Will Howard. I mean, he is a, NCAA Mr. Champ. So his journey came from, he played against AJ with K in Kansas. AJ won the Avery Johnson won the job over Will Howard. Will Howard said, all right, cool. I'm gonna go over there I'm gonna go to Ohio. He goes to Ohio State, wins the championship, and he gets drafted in the 6th round. He's gonna lay low. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do what you usually do with guys that go in the 6 rounds, or at least guys with potential. They lay low. They either become a journeyman, and then maybe one day they strike up. But do you believe that Will Howard has the potential to be one of those quarterbacks that we're not talking about yet, right? And then he eventually becomes that quarterback? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see, though. All right. Riley Leonard won the 6th round to the Indianapolis Colts. All right. Dang, I used to watch the Colts some time. If you know, right? But I used to watch the Colts back in the day. You feel me? Graham Mertz, 6th round to the Houston Texans. Some of these teams are not even the regular teams, like, because I haven't watched the NFL. I'm doing NFL content this year, and I'm watching the NFL this year. You feel me? Because after Colin Kaepernick, I checked out, man. Now I'm back, so I have no idea who's on these teams. You feel me? Like, I keep track of, like, the Giants and people that are around the Giants and anything around my area, but I'm just getting back to the NFL, so I got to be straight up with y'all. But I do know the NFL. Like, I know it, like, very well. So I just got to get used to who the names are, and then I'll be right back to where I was at when I used to like pay attention to every single team and division and whatnot. All right. So I don't know anything about Graham Mertz. If y'all know anything about Graham, let me know. Holler at me. Cam Miller, 6th round. It's unspecified source. I don't know if this is a boo boo. Quinn Ewers. What did Quinn? The Ewers even leave? Hold on. Yeah, he did. I think I just heard. I just saw footage on Ewers. I just saw footage on him that he was he's coming along pretty well. That's the thing about the Quinn Ewers had plenty of arm strength. Quinn Ewers hit with disappointing news at first Miami Dolphins depth chart. Okay, let's see what it's saying. All right, so Miami Dolphins depth chart is going to be we got Tua, who's going to be starting. Second is going to be Zach Wilson, and then third is going to be Quinn Ewers. I mean, if you're a third stringer, that means you're going to be on the team. Okay, So yeah, that is what I've been hearing. I just a few things that I've heard about Quinn Ewers. He's not doing too bad, but again, a baller is going to be a baller. So to be a third stringer, that's what we're hoping for Shedeur. We're hoping that Quinn Ewers type of situation could have been Shedeur. Because once you are a baller and you're in a good system, a stable system where people are just playing football, like I said, with the presidency, if they're just doing their job the way they're supposed to do it, you ain't supposed to know nothing. You're supposed to go, Shadore's supposed to go to a team where there's a decent quarterback that he can learn under, take his time and develop. And by the time he steps into that leadership position, we know what he can already do. But man, when you are in a dysfunctional system, is Selmo still here? When you are in a dysfunctional system from the Cleveland Doodle Browns, then you have no chance to even you don't even know where you're gonna be at the next day. From 2 snaps to no snaps to starter. 2 no snap starter. Curtis Roke. Is that the son of the actor? 7th round to the San Francisco 49ers. I have no idea what Curtis is doing. The only Curtis that we recognize, well, it's either Blow or Jackson. I can't say Blow because somebody's going to say no Diddy, but I already said it. There you go. All right, so let's go. Let me check my email. Let's go about Shedeur. This one I'm going to need y'all help on. I just wanted to make sure that we got that out of the way. I wanted to make sure that people get the you feel me? Like you guys got a little bit of more information than just Shedeur. But those are the quarterbacks, including Shedeur, who's now on that list. Those are the quarterbacks that we are looking at, depending on what side of the world or what side of the Americas you are on. Not the Americas, the United States, because the Americas is more than just the United States. So what side of the United States and NFL team that you root for, look out for these quarterbacks coming in the coming weeks or so when NFL gets going. I'm going to be doing the weekly shows, the daily shows or whatever, giving you the updates on how the quarterbacks are doing. That's good content. I feel like I want to see it. I want to know because we are all invested in the 2025 draft because of the Shedeur draft slide dance and everything. So I want to make sure that I keep track of this just for my personal liking. I like this type of content to where I can kind of take you on a journey. You feel me? I can take you on a journey because you can probably remember some of the drafts that you've probably been a part of. And then some of the quarterbacks that you've seen come up out of the draft, those who were number 1, the first shall be last, the last shall be first. Those who were number 1 became number 7, and then those who were number 7 became number 1. So I want to take you on this journey because we are all here. So you can keep it locked here at TLP. Every week I'll be giving you an update on how each quarterback is doing, if they've stepped up, if they're still on the team, yada, yada, yada. That type of content I like. So let's go ahead and talk about what you came here for, which is, are they setting Shedeur up for draft capital? I have a little bit of help, and let me go ahead and pull up my help right now. Let's get this thing cracking. So I just want to give a warning. Just like I told you all yesterday, because I was using so many different clips, I knew that YouTube was going to try to take my little check, my little money that I earned. So I had to cut the clip out of the, out of the live. So if at the sound of my voice, if you don't see the clip that I'm about to play and it just jumps to the conversation, then I had to delete it, because some of these companies are not allowing us low YouTubers, us dusty YouTube channels to take their content, but they're the professionals. We're just trying to get a little bit of shine off of them. You know what I'm saying? Clout chasers. Let's go.
Are not going to be able to play. Okay? So that those snaps are gone. Flacco's 100. I would imagine they never planned on him playing preseason game 1. So the only quarterback they've got is Shedeur. So if that's why they signed Snoop Huntley, just because they need you want to be able to run your offense even in the preseason game so other guys get reps. And what if something happens to Shedeur or something like that? So be it. That's fine. That there's no issue with that. But Snoop.
So let's stop right there real quick. Let me just give you a little bit of information about what I'm hearing about Snoop Huntley, Tyler Huntley. So they're saying that he's a renter quarterback, basically. That's what I'm hearing. So if you had a little bit of anxiety where you thought that Shedeur was not going to be able to, if he was coming to take Shedeur's spot, or it's getting way too messy, it's an insurance type of situation, because you have to have enough quarterbacks for you to play. I think high school, you can take somebody from the audience or from the bleachers and say, hey, wear this jersey, just stand right here, don't do nothing. We got to play. We're just missing one more person. We only got 10. We need 11. In the NFL, you can't do that. All right. You can't take, Shooter Joe from the audience and put him in the game and say, we just need a quarterback. Just throw this ball to that guy. You can't do that. Okay. So the word on the street is that Snoop is more like a renter quarterback, and by the second preseason game next week, basically, he should be gone, because then those other guys should be well enough to come back and play. So let's keep going.
Huntley should not be taking more than 5 practice snaps from Shedeur, and the plan for Friday should be whatever you want to do with Flacco, you do, whether that's play him one series, whatever Flacco's their starting quarterback and going to be their starting quarterback, and they don't want to just punt the season before the season starts, even though their depth chart, have you seen, like, the Browns' offensive depth chart is something to be, you just stare at it. Right now, it's Flacco at quarterback, David Njoku, who's a very nice player at tight end, Jerome Ford's their starting running back, Cedric Tillman, Jamari Thrash, and Jerry Jeudy are their top 3 receivers, with Deontay Johnson being their number 4, and an offensive line of DeJuan Jones, Joel Bitonio, Ethan Pochik, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin as their offensive line. It's impossible. So we know they're going to be bad, but they don't want to say off the top they're going to be bad. So be it. So whatever you think you need to do to have Flacco ready, you do. After that, Shedeur Sanders should play the entirety of that preseason game.
So I know we've been talking about this, but Shedeur's not going to be running with the ones, right? But he's not going to get their best. he's going to be getting the second team. That's what the coaching staff, or that's what the news is that's coming out of this whole thing. So he ain't going to be getting the best people to play with. The good thing about who he's going to be working with is that since he's been working with the twos, he's already familiar with most of the tools that he's going to be playing with. So he don't care either way, right? He's like, look, man, it is what it is. I'm just going to go in there and do what I got to do. But at least he's going to have some familiar faces with him. So, I mean, it is a preseason game, and you want to definitely keep your weapons. You want to make sure that they are ready to go for the season. So I do understand that, but Shedeur is not going to be getting the best. So I don't know what the expectations are going to be as far as, oh, okay, if a guy drops the ball, is he supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? If Shedeur doesn't have the best, then what are the thought processes that you guys are having out there? If he doesn't have the best, then can you really count it? But again, it's preseason, and you cannot put your best out there and risk injury. So that's part of it.
If Gabriel and Pickett are hurt, there is no reason whatsoever on Friday for Snoop Huntley, who is right now the 6th quarterback on the Browns roster, because Deshaun's on the roster. For Snoop Huntley, who sneakily has a Pro Bowl to his name and started a playoff game for your Baltimore Ravens, a couple years ago. And I'm glad Huntley's getting another look. This, I promise, it's not an indictment on Snoop. But this is the opportunity to see how Shedeur looks in a big sample against a live defense. And there are local Browns fans and media have gotten a little conspiratorial about, what the team does and doesn't like about Shedeur's whatever it is. And are they trying to kind of, slow his progress? Is it weird because the coaches didn't want him, but the owner did? I don't know.
You don't think they're getting ready to trade him or anything? There's something.
So before they get into that whole trade talk, and this is the reason why I wanted to do the show in the first place, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that they're talking about just Huntley. How many snaps should Huntley get? And the reason why you don't want to see Huntley getting a whole lot of snaps is because if you're saying that Huntley is a renter quarterback, then you just have him here for insurance purposes. He should just be here for insurance purposes. So give him like 4 or 5 snaps. Let him get used to the plays. He should already know the plays because he was already here and he went through a whole training camp with the Browns. So, and apparently they liked him. They liked him and they wanted to offer him a job, but you know how the business things works. It didn't work out. Now they're bringing him back, so he should know the plays, right? But if he's here as a renter quarterback, then he's like Joe Flacco, right? He already knows the plays. You want to look at Shedeur. 2 things are going to happen. If you're trying to sell Shedeur, we're going to get into this right now. If you're trying to sell Shedeur, position him for draft capital. Then you want him to play the snaps. Let them talk about it, and then we'll talk more further about it, because obviously, this guy's the professional. I'm just a YouTuber trying to glean off of him.
Something lurking.
So if that's the case, then that's even more of a reason to showcase him.
Why that dude look like Jesus iced out? You mean TV Jesus? He does remind you of TV Jesus. Holy Mary.
Right.
Like, here's one that I find interesting.
DC, what up? You crazy, dude.
And that I think actually could be like a best case scenario for Shedeur. Best case. If I'm Shedeur, I am hoping beyond hope I get 3 quarters, maybe the whole game. Because if Flacco's not going to play, then Shedeur, in theory, should play the entire game.
Yeah.
That I look decent, and that the Los Angeles Rams call the Browns. and the Los Angeles Rams call the Browns so I can be their third string quarterback. As odd as that sounds, because that's right. The Rams story right now is Matt Stafford's got a bad back, and that is really concerning. And their backup quarterback, while a fine backup quarterback, has his own injury concerns, which is Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right, so that's what I want to dig into. Because this is the situation that a lot of us was hoping that Shedeur could find himself in. He could still find himself in these situations. You know, a team with veterans, my internet went for a second there, so I had to stop. But yeah, Shedeur, the best situation for Shedeur to be in. All right, I know we got our segments within the Shedeur family, right? We got the starter or bust side. We got the develop and take over the NFL side. I think I'm more in that side. And then we got the, oh, he's a fifth rounder. You know, those are not the haters, right? But he's a fifth rounder. Whatever God has for him, let it be. I think Phil So Real's in that category too. Whatever transpires, what transpires, just let that man be. We got those groups, right? So it's like, you know, you got your, hey man, you got to start right now, because that's like Tennant said, he's reminiscent of the second coming, and he got to start right now because he's that good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's better than Cam Ward. We want him to start right now. If he don't start right now, then it's collusion. Then it's the good old boys. Then we get back into that whole Chitlin circus talk, right? Like the whole NFL is racist. Everybody collusion. Get them all out of here. We got we got that group. Not all of y'all are bad in that group. Some of y'all are kind of like woohoo. Some of y'all are a little woohoo in that group, but I love y'all anyway. I'm gonna call y'all the Chitlin Circus group, because y'all stay angry no matter what happens. It's always racism, and you ready to fight. Okay, the machetes. You throw the Bible down. You ready with the machete, and you ready to go. You stay on go. Okay, it always looks racist for you. I really love y'all, but man, y'all need to take a breath. Oh Lord. And then I'm in the middle, man. I'm like, look, man, I know how good Shedeur is. I know what he's capable of. You feel me? I know his dad got him ready. You know what I'm saying? If he needs to work on a certain things, like not everybody learns the same way. Travis Hunter was a straight A student at CU. I think Shedeur was like a B student or something. Not everybody learns the same way. If you can just Google like the different levels of learning, you know, you'll get like, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll get the different levels. It'll tell you, you know, how the different groups learn. Some are late developers. Some get it right away. As soon as you open your mouth, they're already there. Some sit down and they wait and they internalize everything. And then you'll see them thriving. Those are the ones that kind of like, maybe you can call them late bloomers. But once they get it, boom, they're off and running. Everybody learns at a different pace. And I think we should be okay with that. Some of y'all don't care. You're like, no, Shedeur, he's been doing this since he was out of the womb. And he's got everything. I don't know what you're talking about. You wrong. We know. I was there when he was born. I literally babysat this kid, and I know how smart he is. There is no way that he don't know the playbook. There's no way that just caught 1,000 different colors and 1,000 different things in that one play. He can remember it before he even got to the Cleveland Browns. He already knew that stuff. All right. Some of y'all like y'all know him like that. Some of y'all are so keen on him that y'all know that he don't lack nothing. He don't lack confidence. He don't lack intelligence. He don't lack nothing. He's already there. Some of us is just like, look, man, if he gotta learn it, like y'all learn it. I mean, he's human. Like y'all don't consider him to be human, but some of us do consider him to be a nice young man who, just like everybody else, that has to learn. His father is famous, and now he is, but they're just like us. They're human beings that got to learn stuff, and it's okay to watch his development like everybody else. One of the guys that he looks up to, I wouldn't call him idol, but one of the guys he looks up to had a similar path. Tom Brady. He was drafted late. He took his time, and then he came up to be the best quarterback in the NFL. What's different here? I think Shedeur can do it. If he has to learn all the different colors, and you add numbers to the colors, and then you add symbols to the color, and then you add words to the colors, and now you got to say the colors, the words, the symbols, right? And before you say hike, and you got to remember all of that before you say hike, and remember each person and what their color, their symbol, and their word was. You don't think that could be crazy for somebody who learns at a different pace than other people? It could be. I'm just trying to slow walk it for some of us who thinks like we need to pull out the machete on every scenario. I'm with you. I get you. I'm a rebel just like you. We can fight it. Like if stuff get crazy, you can count on me being right there with you, because I stays ready too. But I'm also reserved to understand that not everything has to be machete. You know what I'm saying? Like education helped me with that. You know what I'm saying? You got the crazy cousin that you don't want him to be educated, because when you call him, you're like, hey, yo, it's go time. And he already there. Like the next thing you hear is your doorbell ringing, like, yo, son, let's go. Or you hear his motorcycle or his car outside. He's like, yo, I'm here. Let's go. He stays on go. But we can't all stay on go. There's got to be that person that's in the group that says, hey, yo, no, it ain't even that. It ain't even that. Then you'll be like, oh, all right. Then you just tell your cousin to go back home. Like, yo, son, go back home. It's okay. We're not here. We're not ready. But when things get crazy, that cousin, he be ready to go. You feel me? So we do need some of y'all that's like that. But sometimes y'all stay on that. Lord. Harry B talking and thinking like Shedeur is slow and takes the short bus. That's your comprehension. That ain't me. That is definitely your comprehension level. That has nothing to do with me. Because no matter what anybody says to y'all, some of y'all are just going to take it like, oh, yeah, that's what you're saying. Shedeur is slow. So everybody else that we say got to work on something, I started with the whole list and I said, these people got to work on something because they're rookies. You don't interpret them as being slow. But when it comes to Shedeur, then as soon as you say anything that he got to work on, oh, yeah, he's slow. Oh, he's slow. Come on, bro. DC, thank you for coming on, man. How you doing today, brother? Thank you for coming for calling in.
I'm doing fine, brother. What's up with you?
I'm well, man. I'm taking this one, kind of slow and trying to lean into it. You feel me? Yeah, man. Because today is like we gotta make sure that people get what the jit things are. But let's play this clip and then I'll end it here. Now I lost the clip. What is the clip? Come on. All right, let's play the clip. You still there, DC?
I'm still here.
All right, let's go.
If I'm Shedeur and I can't, like,
now I'm stupid. I was just making a joke. You see what I'm saying? You see how it goes? Yo. And then your interpretation says, I'm calling you stupid. Your own joke is killing you. All right?
getting to Los
People say within the joke, there is some truth in there, right?
Angeles, no, there will be no media attention like should he be the starter. Stafford's there. And for the Rams, it gives you a chance to maybe have a answer at quarterback, even if it's a long shot. And again, I've never believed Shedeur's a surefire NFL starter, but he's got a shot. Have an answer at quarterback after this year if this does end up being Stafford's last year. And maybe more importantly, not more importantly, but equally important as to why you would do this trade now rather than the offseason, whatever it is, if Stafford, isn't ready for the start of the season, because yesterday.
So DC, I want to bring you in on this, because I see a few people in there. Harry B, if you want some, God, get some. Come on the show. Come, you want to debate? What are we talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know what we're talking about. It's like, bro, I'm not the channel that panders to the Chitlin circus. I'm not that guy. Maybe I haven't introduced myself, but I don't pander to nobody. I only pander to God and Jesus Christ, in case y'all don't know. So if you're looking for an echo chamber to praise Shedeur and Deion Sanders, I'm not that channel. I talk sports here, but I'm fair and I'm equal, and I try to make sure that people get the right shake. I know about the media because I've worked in it for 20-something years. I'm a filmmaker, and I worked in television. So, but I'm not a pander channel. So if you're looking for a pander channel, this is not it. And I might lose a few of y'all for saying that, but I've been saying that for a long time, and I've lost a lot of people, which is fine, because I need to get to the real core of people who are interested in talking sports without having to say, hey man, I love this thing. Without it. If you don't love something, then say you don't love it. That's why we have our society the way it is, because you can't speak up when something is wrong that rubs you off wrong because you're too in there. Like Officer Tatum. I'll tell you a little bit about that before I bring my panel on. The situation, I think it happened in Florida with the young man who was in the car, who probably should have gotten out of the car when the officers told him to get out of the car. Because the way that I am, I'm an African. We look for authority and we say, fine. If they say get out of the car and he gets out, then maybe the situation is different. But guess what Officer Tatum said? He had a knife. He had a knife. You're in Florida. There's gators. There's fishing. There's so many things going on. But because he was pandering to a group, he's probably a good guy, right? He probably knows a lot about being a cop since he was a cop for 6 years. So he knows a lot. But because he has decided to pander to a specific group of people, his evaluation of things has become tainted, because if you decide to pander to a specific group, then anytime you answer something or you see something and you're reacting to it, your reactions have to pander to them, because that is where your bread and butter is coming from. I have decided to do God's work and not your work. The second I decide to pander to you, I have to now curve everything I say to make sure it sounds good for you and your ears. I don't want to do that. If I tell you that Shedeur has something to work on, and then I also turn around and say Dylan has something to work on, when you hear me say Shedeur has something to work on, you think I'm saying Shedeur is stupid or dumb. But when I say Dylan has something to work on, you cheer. That's a problem. And I wanted to make sure you understand that. This is a grown channel. This is not a Chitlin Circus channel. I'm not here for you. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to have a conversation. Sometimes it goes left, sometimes it goes right, but we meet somewhere in the middle, and we are all okay with it. If that's not for you, there are other pandering channels out there that will just echo you all you want. This is not this channel. I haven't said that for the new people, but there it is. Todd Smith, welcome to the channel, brother. How you doing today? Appreciate you coming here.
Good morning, man. Thank you for having me on. GC, as always, salute my brother.
What up with your Tim?
All right, so guys, let's get into it, man. Now that I've weeded some people out, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. So I'm thinking they're setting him up for trade value, like my guy was saying here. But the situation we want Shedeur to be in is at least third string, because you're not that far. If you're third string, you're not that far away from becoming the starter, especially if you have the type of talent that Shedeur has. I want to get your thoughts on that. DC, you can go first because you was here first.
Yeah, I see it. I don't know if they're purposely. I mean, if you're going in the preseason, and you're purposely setting somebody up to trade them. That's not good. You know, you brought the people into your training camp that you felt would best make the team prepared. So, it doesn't mean that it can't be a situation where they get traded. But I just want to point out is that again, the Browns have played 11 quarterbacks in the past 2 years, and we hadn't even got to the preseason, and they having to bring somebody on. So a lot of stuff seems to happen with this organization. Some of this stuff is just, not necessarily they can control it. Shador, if he does wind up going someplace else, I heard him talk about the Rams. I actually think that would be a pretty solid place for him.
So I want to just say shout out to New Orleans JV. Salute to you. Just saying salute to you. College Bound CFL. Salute to you. Harry literally said Travis is an A student and Shedeur was B student and people learn different.
But Harry B, can I say this is that people do? I want to say this just real quick, and then
did I say something wrong? Was there anything wrong in that statement? Am I missing something?
See, I don't think there is, and I'm sure with Tim studying education, he knows this is that everybody does not learn at the same level. Everybody needs some people have different modes that they learn. And sometimes remedial training doesn't mean they're not capable. It just basically means like that you have to put it in a way where they understand it. For example, when I was teaching ROTC, there's certain things, let's say, for example, ambush, call for fire, that type of stuff. Some people couldn't grasp what that means. Let's say if a female hasn't had a lot of things, like at kids, we play army and all kind of stuff. They didn't. So I had to basically break those terms down into a place where they got it. It wasn't that they were intelligent, because some of them were going to be doctors, but they still needed to learn that stuff. So I want to highlight that point, is that just because somebody else may be getting something faster does not mean that they're more intelligent, or the person that it maybe take a little longer is less intelligent. We got to get out of the absolute conversations where it's that if you're not saying this, then you're saying no, because people aren't binary.
But hold up. But should we make the show about that today? Because why are y'all having a hard time with this?
No, I don't think you should make it. I just
no. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about why are people out there having a hard time with this?
I think it's because they love Shador, and in our community we want to protect. We're real big on that one. That's why you got the aunties and you got the uncles. So I totally get the protectionism, but I also think that sometimes it can be too extreme, where we take away the opportunity to see the situation as it is, as well as use it for a learning point.
DC, listen to this. I came to the United States in 1989. I was 12 years old, and I did not know how to read or write. I didn't know anything. They had to put me in the 6th grade in order for me to start my learning process because of my age. I went on to graduate, went to grad school at Bowie State University. I got B's and A's. I got a minor degree in communications. Organizational behavior was my study. I got a film degree and got a minor in communications. If the way that y'all are taking this information when people are just saying it, it's as if somebody is saying, oh, you're dumb, you can't do it. If you would have said I was dumb at age 12, now I got all of this happening. I got businesses going. I'm running several businesses. Ain't nobody say anybody is dumb, but why is it that it's okay for us to say one person is working on something, but it's not okay for us to say Shedeur is working on something? Why do we What is that called? What is that called? Why is he got to be perfect right now? Maybe y'all are holding him up. Why does Shedeur have to be perfect right now? He's only 20-something years old. He's still got room to grow with his confidence, decision making, become a better young man. His trust in God can rise. Every time we say something, it's like y'all take it personal, like we're coming against something to say that he's terrible. He's a terrible person. Like, why do y'all do that? I don't know. Tim, what is going on? Can you help me to help them? Because I don't know where they're at.
I really wouldn't give it a lot of breaths because you're not going to you're not going to convince everybody. I look at those type of individuals. They big fans of Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta. They like drama, and Coach Prime uses a phrase all the time that I fall in love with the process. Falling in love with the process means it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time to get to wherever you want to get in life, whether that's educational wise, whether that's athletic wise, whether that's job wise, whether that's starting a new career, whatever it is, it takes time. I don't care what you're doing. If you want to start a lawn service, you're going to have to put together a business plan for that lawn service. You got whether you want to start it in a month or 2 years from now, you still have a process to go through in order to accomplish that. So it's going to take time. So everything in life takes time in order to reach where you want to go. So I wouldn't give it a lot of breath, man, honestly. They
But
slowing
you
your
know
show down.
the reason why we give it a breath is because this is the community that we are building, and sometimes you got to bring people along, even if you start off a little rocky. You got to kind of like let them know like, hey man, look, maybe the way that you're looking at this whole thing is wrong, and you're the one that just stays angry. Like you don't have to be angry, you know that. Like you
Hey, let me
don't
let
have.
me let me let me throw this in there real quick, Harry.
Yeah,
It kind
man.
of sum a lot of this up. You wonder why kids drop out of high school? Just
Why?
think about this. Because they don't want to apply themselves. They don't want to do the work. And you got those that graduating from high school is because they wanted to do the work. It took time. You got to still go 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. And that's going to take time. And that's a process. Each level is going to get from 9th to 10th grade, the work assignment is going to get a little bit more challenging. But if you want to walk across that stage, you're willing to do the work and you're not worrying about the time because eventually you're going to get there. But the kids that don't want to, they're going to say forget it. They're going to give up and drop out.
Well, we know Shador's not dropping out. He ain't gonna say forget it. But this is what I need to say to the people that are following Shedeur. Shedeur ain't perfect. Shador's a human being just like you. So he has things to learn just like you. The second that somebody says, hey man, Shedeur has to mature. Like if Shedeur was to be driving 100 and something, if somebody says, hey man, that boy need to mature because that's immature. You'll come for that person. You'll start calling them names. Oh, everybody makes mistakes. Yes, but it says Shedeur made that mistake. So it's like, no matter what anybody says, when you say something, unless it's celebratory, unless it's something that you say that's actually praising, then you'll feel like somebody is saying something that he's no good. So y'all gotta like calm down because I see it across YouTube. There are sections of the fan base Like I said, there's going to be those machete people that don't care about anything. They're ready to slice you no matter what you say. And then there's going to be those guys that understand, like Tim is saying, hey, man, we understand that Shedeur has work to do just like everybody else. All of these quarterbacks that I listed, they all got work to do. And you will see who works hard and who's going to rise up out of that group. You will see it, right? But all of them got work to do. So it's okay when somebody says, hey, Shedeur has to work on X, Y, and Z. Don't take it personal. Don't take it like it's somebody saying Shedeur is incapable. If he was incapable, he would not be there. But he has work to do. It's not about him being incapable. It's about the fact that he has work to do. So I'm speaking this and I'm saying this here because there are other channels that are out there that don't care about you. There are other people, there are people on those bigger levels that don't care about you. We're trying to create a community here where we can come and we can have a good conversation. And they're calling all of us crazy. And I'll give you this example, guys, before I let you go, before I bring you guys in. Because of some bad black people, the human community thinks that all black people are X, Y, and Z. So you heard the one rotten apple or the one bad apple in the bunch can ruin the bunch. When we step into a room, if there is an Asian, if there is a Caucasian, if there is just name the other groups. Y'all can DC, you're here, you're very experienced, man. Ty, you're very experienced, you were in education. Tell me if this statement is true or not. Out of that, if the room is full of different cultures, what is that one culture that they'll look at and think this shouldn't be in that room?
It's us.
Based off society, it would be us.
I'm just trying to say this is what happens. So understand, like, we are in a community. And we're ruckus. We're coming in with like different opinions. So in this college, NFL, football community, we are being labeled as the craziest. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, I have to admit it. But Harry, I want to say this. Something that they did, basic training, officer candidate school, I've been to police academy, all that. And here's something I found is that in that when one person did something wrong, like in basic training, somebody had a candy bar and it wasn't a candy, it was just a wrapper. And the drill sergeant found that everybody got smoked. Push-ups, sit-ups, running, everybody did because what they were teaching is it's one for all and all for one.
Right.
So I totally get that we are standing on Shedeur. Absolutely, let's do that. But it's to a point where, like, sometimes I can come off as a little critical, but I believe in black excellence. I do believe in black excellence, and I believe as men is I'm not finna let you slide. If I see you got way more potential, I'm not letting you slide. I'm gonna call it out for what it is. Hey, you need to work on that. And I will only want people around me that do the thing. I mean, it's funny that we're all Christians, but iron sharpens iron means correction.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it does mean. Hey, you need to change. And that really, but the point I get what you're saying is that we have to be able to have discussions about, hey, okay, what does he need to work on?
Right.
What are the things that we can see? And the great thing is a lot of the stuff I think he need to work on, he's working on it. Didn't I tell you? I said that his footwork has gotten better, his release has gotten faster. I'm watching all of that stuff. So he is doing the work, folks.
That's
But we
what I'm
got to be able
saying.
to say, hey, this is some of the things he struggled with at college. And here's the thing: most all rookie quarterbacks struggle with something going into that next level.
That's what I'm saying. So we point. Hey, Peter Investor, what's up, man? We point out, and by the way, ICW. This is, if you're not used to this part of TLP, we do this all the time, where we will veer off and we just talk about the community, because sometimes it's needed. Sometimes we need to get off the course to get on course. I'm going to repeat that. Sometimes we need to get off course to get on course, because I don't want them to be talking about you. I don't want them to come into the room and say, "Oh, you're a Shedeur fan." I want them to say you a football fan. I don't want to be talked about, "Oh, that's a Shedeur channel." Because when people come here, I want them to be able to talk football. I want regular football heads during the season to come here and have great conversations. This is not a Shedeur glazing channel, even though I do glaze for Shedeur. It is what it is. Sometimes I know that I need to go in and just lay out his accolades, because sometimes people do forget, and sometimes I'm dealing with a lot of haters because I run this channel and I see the comments. So sometimes I need to do a show where I just lay out his accolades. But if I'm telling you that people are saying, and multiple people are saying, this is what he needs to work on, and you see him do the same thing in college, and we say, okay, fine, let him work on that. What is wrong with? There's nothing wrong with that. But because you want me to keep feeding your anger and your biases or whatever, you want me to feed that so we can all feel like, oh yeah, we about to fight for Shedeur. I'm not here for that. I don't do that. Okay? The only thing I can offer for that is Jesus. And I do it often here on this channel, where I will offer Jesus for that anger you have inside of you. Because maybe that anger needs to come out, and you got to replace that with Jesus. That's the only person that can help you with that. Because if you think the whole world is against you, then it's possible that you need Jesus. And may I offer him to you so he can get that anger out of you, so that you can be a good participant of our society, where you start realizing that, oh, okay, maybe they were right. Everybody's not against me. Maybe that was just my little thinking, and maybe I was caught up in a bubble where everybody was angry, and I thought that the world was against me because I'm so angry. When I wake up, I think the world is against me and everybody's against me. So I go into my little corner, my little YouTube connections, my little social media connections, where they can affirm the way that I feel, so I can continue to feel that way. But not here, brother and sisters. You come over here, I'm snatching that demon out of there. That angry demon, I'm snatching it. I want that demon. All right, that Mortal Kombat, come here. I'm taking that demon out of there, and I'm tossing it and saying, I love you, and I want us to have good, healthy conversations. Can we get back to the show?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man.
We do it. We do that. We do this here often. If you're not used to around here, this is what we do. This is a community network.
Hey, Harry, can I say something real quick?
You can say more than something. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to deter away from the show too much. It's just like having an open mind to everybody's opinion, because it can actually be helpful. Because DC sent me something the other day with Mary Kay, and I was like, as much as I really don't like Mary Kay, I had reached back out to him, and I was like, hey man, this is a genuine assessment. You know, and
You saw it too, Harry, because I sent it to you too.
Oh, okay.
And instead of me saying, you know what, oh man, you know, she just making this stuff up. She trying to get on the fan base good graces, whatever, blah blah blah. It was a fair assessment. So,
how old is Mary Kay? Because I agree with ICW. She do be looking kind of hot. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm not sure, but if you look around her neck, she don't look too hot. But anyway,
I know, but like, you know, just the initial look, Shorty be looking kind of. I'm like, wait, she look kind of old, but when she was younger, she had it going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go.
But
ahead.
you know, just having that open mind set to wanting to learn this game and hearing other individuals' perspectives, because the fan base, I already know they want to see Shedeur playing now. You know what I mean? They don't want
not all of them. I'm not gonna say all of them. The majority of people definitely want him to play, but I think some people have come to understand that, you know, if he was to take a backseat to a better quarterback, then that'll probably be the best situation for him.
Right, but I'm just saying though, some of those Shedeur fans that don't want to hear nothing else, all they want to hear is good, 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 and they want to see him playing on the field now. And those same individuals would be the ones that crucify him if things don't go right. So, for example, if you take him and put him on the Kansas City Chiefs team, we know what Kansas City Chiefs gonna do. Well, how many wins? Yeah, how many wins we could possibly project them to win every year with Patrick Mahomes? Now take Patrick Mahomes out of the situation, and you throw Shedeur Sanders in there year one, and they only win 3 games. They would crucify him faster. The same people that's praising him would crucify him first, all because he's doing bad. So it makes me think like, okay, you don't want to wait and give him time to develop, because I think the Browns are doing him a service, to be honest. But when you put him in the fire and he only win 2 games, he sucked, blah, 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 blah. You ready to crucify the man, kick him out the National Football League and everything.
Man, you don't remember we had that show where I had to like address that also? Because you got some fans that are, that are like that, but if things don't work out, they're the ones that they'll be the first ones to be critical. The same
Fair
thing,
weather fans. Yeah.
the same thing goes with Colorado. When things started to take a nosedive in year number 1, those same people were the ones to be critical. They were accusing me, and a lot of them came back to the channel. They were accusing me when I got critical. They were accusing me, and then when the thing started to take a nosedive, then they started coming back. Some of them came back, and they were able to have a good conversation about just being okay with not being okay. You feel me? Like, sometimes we just gotta talk to our community because we're the best ones to talk to our community. Can't nobody else have the type of conversations that we have here? You know what I'm saying?
Like Gerald D, and that's a great point. You're saying that Shedeur fans just want to hear facts from credible people. Well, who's credible? Like, you have only been in the Brown space within the past 90 days. So how do we know if somebody's credible? And often what people establish credibility upon is likability. And they're not necessarily the same thing. And I don't think that's what you're saying. It's just to a point where it seems to me like I said, I never said I like or dislike Mary Kay. What I just simply said was, hey, somebody that embedded with them, she's probably getting fed stuff. Don't dismiss her. You might not like some of the stuff that she says that was erroneous, but I don't think her intent is malicious.
Right.
Some people could be negligent, but I don't think that she's malicious. And I think she's saying things from conversations she's had with people. So I don't think you dismiss it. But again, in this space, like, you forgot content creators that were here for since JSU. They're going to tell you the favorable things. But I mean, if we're gonna keep it a buck, most of those folks have never stepped foot on the Browns field, let alone talk to a coach. So how do we know what's credible when most of the information we're getting is third, fourth, fifth hand at best?
Right. So yeah, I mean, with the Mary Kay situation, when she came out, I would say like DC just said, she was negligent. She was at most negligent. But if you've been around here long enough, like my guy Peter Investor, he remembers when people came for me, and then some of them came back because once things started to take a nosedive, if you understand that you give people grace, just like you want grace to be given to you, you give her that grace and say, okay, she was negligent, but I don't think her intentions are malicious. I don't think she's in her mind processing, ooh, how can I get Shador? I'm going to write something now because I need the views. Like, she turns off her comments because some of y'all just came for her like crazy, calling her out of her name. The reason why I came for her is because I was like, Mary Kay, I just met you, But hold up, baby girl. Like, what are we doing? Like, no, Shedeur didn't have multiple. He had multiple OCs, and no, he can pick things up very fast. Sometimes in the not sometimes, but even one time he a couple of years mid season, and he had to finish the season with a new OC. She was negligent on that, but a lot of y'all saw that and then you just locked in on her being malicious, and now you will not let it go, and that anger is building and building and building, and even if she says something that's credible, you just don't want to see it because now you've created that whole anger inside of you, and now she's the enemy. But I don't think Mary Kay is the enemy. I promise you I would do y'all a good service here. I know the media because I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been working in this media space for 20 years. Now I've gotten out of the corporate rings to try to do this on my own, just like a lot of the former players, and everybody's having their own thing now. I'm out of the corporate side to try to do this on my own. So I'm your guy. I'm going to smell them. I can smell them a mile away. I can tell you who's evil, and I can tell you who has good intentions. Just keep it locked here. I promise you, if they do anything, I'm coming for them. And when I come for them, you will know when I'm coming for them because my voice is going to change. I'll start crackling. I'll start drinking a lot of water, and you will know that I'm coming for somebody. Let's get back to the show, guys, because we gotta end. So I really wanted this show to end at 12 o'clock, but here it is at 12:04, and I haven't even got to. Okay, so best scenario for Shedeur. DC, we gotta go over this one more time. I know we've already gone over this, but best scenario for Shedeur. After Friday, he goes up one notch, or he stays where he's at. He stays with the Browns, or they put him in a position. They keep Tyler or Snoop. They keep Snoop. They get rid of him. What are the scenarios for that to happen? Let's go Ty Smith, and then we go DC.
Um, I I think I'm sticking with my initial statements that I've been making. I think Shador is learning the NFL realm of things, and I think he's auditioning. Whether he's putting good film out there for all 31 teams to look at. Uh, so I don't think they're using him for draft capital because the Browns aren't in the best situation right now. Not only that, I don't think the quarterbacks that are coming out next season draft class is better than Shador. Honestly. So
So hold up. He's auditioning, but you're saying the Browns are going to keep him. Then who is he auditioning for? The starting position or auditioning for another team?
I'm saying that what he's putting out there right now is
Okay.
film. Other
So
teams are
you
going to
use
look
the
at
word auditioning. Are you using the word auditioning for the Browns starting position, or auditioning for another team when he gets traded?
whether it's the Browns or it's another team. I don't think the Browns are going to trade him honestly. I think it'll be Pickett or Flacco will go before Shador. I think the Browns know what they have in Shador, and I think it's going to be displayed a little bit heavier Friday night, God's willing. But and I'm hoping nothing but the best on Friday night because I really want this for him, and I know he wants it for himself. But I think that he is going to not be traded, and I don't think that um, because hold on, let me put this in there.
Okay.
There's other teams that starting quarterbacks aren't doing the best where Shador could land, you know. So it could be a possibility of trading. Not this season though. After this season, I don't think so though.
Tim, okay. Let me let DC go, but figure that out because I don't know. You're not standing on a position because you're kind of like you're doing that thing that analysts do where they want to be able to come back. They want to be able to come back and say, I didn't say definitely. I said this. You saying like 3 different things. So figure that out. Because I want you to come back and give me like what you really think. Because it's too all over the place for me right now. Yeah. DC, what are your thoughts on this?
All right, repeat that question so I can answer it as stated.
So we got a situation where the best scenario for what happens for Shedeur moving forward. They're auditioning him for them to get a 4 because he was a 5th. So if they get a 4, then that's a situation for him. That's a good situation for the Browns. So you play him at least almost 3 quarters so that you can up his draft status, right? Or the scenario is he plays 3 quarters. He does well enough to where he either convinces the staff and stays with them and move up on that chart. What happens from here?
I think that none of the rookies are getting traded. That's what I believe. It wouldn't. I don't see that happening. None of them have played so horrible, consistently horrible. Okay, we have had some bad
so then
times.
Tyler's gone next week. He's out of here.
I think that. Well, see, that's the thing. I think that he is not gone if he does a phenomenal job.
But wait. You can't keep 7 quarterbacks on the daggone roster, my guy.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying.
We cannot have a whole team full of quarterbacks. They're going to throw the ball to themselves.
Right, but he probably will stay around past the first cut. Because they have to cut so many and they can only start game day. I think that's was 53, and then they can have some people in another pot over here. So I don't think that they cut him immediately after the game, like bye son. You know, I think it's just that to me, all right, to me, what it looks like the Browns are doing to me is that Flacco is there. Flacco is their experience. But it seems to me they have them grouped into 2 different groups. There's the Pickett and the Dillon category because they have a similar game. So that's why I believe they were getting the reps they will be getting, and Dillon was getting the reps, not necessarily because they were preparing him to be first. It was to a point they don't believe Flacco will last the entire season. So you have those things to be able to maybe move your pocket around because you're concerned with your backfield and you're concerned with your line. So somebody having some mobility, which Dillon's going to naturally have to have that because of visibility that he's got to. So that's what I think they're doing.
Got to get out of that pocket to see.
Exactly. Right. So you're going to have to have that.
Pocket, he ain't seeing nothing.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is
but
that's
DC, come on, man. Order this around. Like, okay, you got 6 quarterbacks. How are you ordering this?
So what I'm saying is I think when they start, they'll keep them as long until they have to make their final.
So order it. I get it. But order it. Put it in the order for me. You cannot, even if you're keeping them to the final round, put it in the order for me. In what scenario do you see that possibly? I don't see a scenario. This is like Hillary and Donald Trump, 2016.
I think they're going to.
What is the path of what path do you see?
If you're talking about a path to, are you asking if there's a path that Shedeur starting?
No, because your first statement was none of the rookies are leaving.
Right.
So if you're keeping 2 rookies, that's 2 quarterbacks. We got 1 more with a possibility of if you're playing spades now, 1 more that'll make 3. Most teams are keeping 3. The 4th guy is probably out. So let's just say we're gonna do you a favor and give you a possible 4. So you got 2 already on your slate, and then you're also keeping Tyler. So get rid of somebody for me.
Okay, well, I don't think you get rid of Tyler to the end of the season when you absolutely have to.
Get rid of somebody for me.
All right, so the first person I probably would get rid of out the QB room is Snoop, unless he just balls out.
Come on, DC. What are you?
I just said I would get rid of Snoop. Now,
if you got,
I'm saying I would get rid of him. Well, think about it.
Right,
We got to factor in.
Let me handle some business because I don't know what are y'all on. Did y'all have your coffee? You and Ty this morning? I don't know what y'all doing. What are y'all? You're killing me here. Let me
But I
handle some
said
business.
he would get cut. Go ahead.
Hold
Handle
on, hold on.
business.
Let me handle some business. Salute to Morning Coffee. Apparently, DC and Todd needed this morning because they're killing me here on this panel. Coach Prime got Uncle Neely on the pregame show. Just posted Saints should reach out for trade. Who y'all think told Neely put that out? Prime? Oh, that's a good question. So we will get to that. Let me just get DC and Todd to get their thoughts together here, and then
No,
we'll get
I'll
there.
give it
I
to you one
promise
time.
you.
All right. If you asking for all things, not no balling out or nothing like that,
Yeah,
Snoop gets
I mean,
cut.
what are you doing, DC? Come on, man.
Well, because if we're sitting up here
You
saying
can't
what they
keep him.
ball,
You can't keep him and get rid of him at the same time.
well, no, what I'm saying is you use a complication, just the same thing as people are saying, well, if Shedeur balls out, then that can move him up. I'm basically saying that
No,
for
okay.
Snoop.
Let's read. Let me
All right,
reintroduce
so
this
for
thing.
Snoop, Snoop is not going
Tyler
to
is
make the roster.
Tyler is
He's
a
getting cut.
renter QB.
He's
He's a
getting cut.
he's the renter QB. So I'm
He's getting cut.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, like that was the easy answer.
Yes, he's
Yeah,
getting
but
cut.
you saw something else. I was trying to unwrinkle what you saw. What did you see?
I'm saying if he goes out there and does phenomenal, that could throw a wrinkle. So I
No,
didn't
but
want
he
to.
should not get the opportunity to do that. That's the whole point. You don't give the rental car the
Who?
opportunity to become your favorite car.
Which team we talking about again? Do I keep having to remind you of that?
Come on.
Come
Come
on,
on,
man.
where,
No, you gotta understand. We are not
where
talking
is
about the
Wild Dog?
Patriots.
Wild Dog
We're
said it's
not
the
talking
Browns.
about Atlanta.
It's
We're
the
not talking
Browns.
about the Detroit. We're not talking about Green Bay. So we have to keep that in there
It's the
again.
Browns.
11 QB. We done already been through how many QBs? The fact that he's here, you cannot discount that when it
It's
comes to
the
the
Browns,
Browns.
Daggett. Man, no, come on, man. They're not that dysfunctional. Come on, Selmo. Are y'all that dysfunctional? I know y'all suck and y'all are dysfunctional. But Selmo, are y'all that dysfunctional? Come on, man. Somebody pronounce this name for me. Selmo FUHD. What is that? How do y'all pronounce that?
Selmo Fudd.
Selmo. Is that a cartoon character? Like Elmer
Like,
Fudd?
I'll let him answer for that.
You're not touching that?
Or her. I don't know.
You're not gonna touch that?
I'm not doing it.
Todd, do you want to touch that? I don't know what that means.
I'm good on that one.
Okay. I'm gonna release y'all
Like
of
how
your
Tim
pain.
did it. He said,
He said, "I'm not touching that." Okay. I mean, the scenario is hard, but Tim,
hold
do
on, I
you
want
have
to say
your thoughts
something.
together? Do you want
Hold on.
to help DC out? Can you please rearrange this for me?
I'm gonna let DC finish it.
I,
He
I,
was gonna
I
say
just
something,
want to
then
say
I'll go
something
after
real
him.
quick. I know
Uh-huh.
people keep saying no trade Shador, but understand if you trade Shador, this this is a new. He's going to be going to a place where there's a new playbook, a whole new way of having to do stuff. So you got to understand if you trade him, that is not going to get him on the field faster. I'm just telling you. It depends on where he goes. If
Hey
you trade it,
DC,
go ahead.
and there's so many different variables to go into all of this, uh, as well. Because if the Browns have two first round draft picks and you can build around what Shador already has now, that puts him in a better situation to possibility by trading him to another team. So uh, I think I would get rid of what's his name that they just Huntley.
Snoop.
Yeah, Snoop. I
But
get rid of Snoop and I
we're not
get rid
even
of
talking about there being a possibility of him staying, right? Come on, Selmo. You said Steve, you said you suck. Y'all suck, okay? Stop playing with me. Yo, there's no possibility we're talking about Tyler Huntley staying, right?
No.
He should not get enough snaps. If just like my guy was explaining on his podcast, if you give Tyler Huntley more than 5 snaps, then he was saying that his red flags are going off.
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I want folks to consider. So let's say that you leave Shedeur in the entire game, and he's in there with people that's gonna be that's well 1 week being the NFL and then another week using the CDL. Let's think about this. You gonna let them folks say, "Hey, listen, Either I come in here and tear Shedeur out the frame, or I'm driving the wheels on the bus go round and round next week. And that's not the joke if somebody drive the bus or nothing. It's just basically saying it's that you keep him out there third quarter, he gets hurt. Folks saying sabotage now when he's starting. What do you think they're gonna say if he was doing good and then he just takes a blindside hit and gets crushed?
I mean, that's the
So
NFL.
no.
We're not worried about being
Right,
hurt.
but what I'm saying,
That's the
but you
NFL.
do, but in a preseason game, why would you leave him out there third, fourth quarter?
Because you need him out there. You want Shedeur to get those snaps.
No, I don't. If I hadn't seen what I need to see in the first and second quarter, and I got some more games to watch and practice, then I'm not going to get it in the third and in the fourth quarter, especially when we're going against people that are probably not even going to make the team. That's not to his
But
advantage.
now you're becoming an absolutist.
No, what
You're
I'm saying.
saying that if you don't see it in the first or second, it's impossible to see it on the third or fourth.
No, because what I'm saying is the people he's going to be going up against in the third and fourth are likely to not
Facts.
make the team. That's why you don't want to. There's no the net game. You know, I like to say the cost of diminishing return.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get into that third and especially the fourth quarter, you have exceeded it.
So what are
So
you
you
saying?
don't want to do
Protect
that.
them?
Yeah, I'm saying sit him on a bit. Let Tyler take because that's what you brought him in basically to be a crash test dummy. Bring him in, let you at least get through the game and be done with it, and then that gives him an opportunity to audition for another team himself.
No,
Right.
this
If
is
he
hold on, Tyler.
okay.
If you play Shedeur, even if you don't see what you want to see right now, it's still good for him to get those snaps because he's not getting them in practice. Remember, your Kenny Pickett's and your Dylan Gabriels are coming back next week, so you want to keep him in there because the more reps he gets, the more his confidence grows with the playbook. So no, you don't sit him. Tyler doesn't need to get the snaps because he's a rental. I'm about to say a rental cop. He's a rental QB. So you only want him when if Shedeur is not available because you need to finish the game. But no, you want Shedeur to get as many snaps as possible because this is the only scenario where you're going to be able to afford him those snaps. Your other quarterbacks are coming back next week. So now you're going to have to put Dylan and Pickett in there. Shedeur can't get all those snaps anymore. So if he has the opportunity, give it to him now and let him do what he got to do. That's what you want to do. Go ahead, Ty.
I was gonna say if you have a plan to trade him, then you don't let him sit out there in the second half. He's gonna be going up against Carolina's first string.
But
Maybe
word on the
one of
street is they ain't that good anyway. So
well, I'm just saying you going up against their first string. That's the
mm-hmm.
product that they're gonna put out there each and every game.
Okay.
So regardless if they good or bad, it's gonna be shown. But you may get them for a series or two. So that's gonna show what Shador is able to do with the second string. So I mean, having him out there the second half and possibly getting him hurt is absurd. If you can't see what he can do in the first quarter, in my opinion, then ain't no use. You're not gonna see it in the third quarter because if he stinks in the first quarter and shining in the third quarter, that's not a good look because like DC said, you're going up against people that maybe not even make the team.
All right, so let's go ahead and let me keep true to my word. Morning Coffee posted Coach Prime guy Neely on the pregame show just posted Saints should reach out for a trade. Let's give that a little bit of energy because this is a super chat. Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, so what's going on? Why is Coach Prime's camp? Because when Neely or somebody out of that camp speaks, we can only assume that there's talks within the group. Why are they doing this now? Why would Neely put that out there and then know that Shedeur is fighting for his career? Why are they doing that? None of y'all want to speak?
I was
Oh,
gonna,
I
I
was
was gonna
gonna
let
let
Tim
these.
go first. No, you go ahead, Tim.
Okay. I don't know if it's 100% correct, but the Saints picked that kid in the what round? Third round?
Shook.
I think it was
Yeah.
second, and that was
Okay.
yes.
Second round. So I can't see the Saints trading for a or going in trading for a fifth round pick without seeing any film on him. So this preseason game is going to do him a disservice or a service. So, but I don't know the back conversations that they may be having. Maybe with Coach Prime, I don't know, or maybe with the Cleveland Browns, I don't know. So it's hard for me to say, but if I'm a speculate on it, I don't really understand why would you not unless you just know now you can get them cheap.
But remember now, we're talking about trade today, right? So I know Chosen One said that Neely been saying Browns should trade Shedeur, but he's about to start, number one. There's too much going on right now. They need to have Coach Prime's camp be silent because you don't want to piss off the only team that wants him right now. So we need y'all to stop talking. Like, you cannot say anything.
But they're not going to. They're not going to. Here's the thing, Tyler Shaw. They're not going to get rid of him. Saints
You
have
don't
three
get
Q.
rid of a second rounder just
Well,
like that.
right. That's what I'm saying. Is that I understand how people feel, but I'm just gonna. I'm not trying to insult, but I'm asking people to say you got to look at things in context. So, for example, to say that. Now you got to go and look and see what the Saints have. So right now they have Tyler Shaw, they have Spencer Rattler, and somebody named Jake Hayner. All right, I don't know much about Jake, but I do is that so in that room with what they've already sitting there seeing, I expect Jake to get cut or put on a practice squad. Where would Shador fit into that? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Does he
Oh,
come
but
in?
I want look. I can answer that question real quick. If you're in a room where who's their veteran?
With their veteran is Spencer Rattler because they were going to have Carr, I believe, and then he
Oh yeah,
retired
but
on
he
them.
retired, right?
Right,
So right now they don't have a solid one. You would say, right?
right. They got them. Actually, they had them all like their
Right.
QB depth chart. That's why I was pausing because I was going to pull the QB depth chart. They got them all sitting at number one.
Right. So okay, this is how I would do. I would want Shedeur in that situation because Shedeur in that situation gives him the fastest track to becoming number one. Because if they practice him with Tyler Shogg and what I'm hearing about him, Shedeur would be starting before you know it. You want Shedeur to be third string. Like let's put it out there. We want Shedeur to be third string in a good system. That's where we want to be at. Because the second string is probably a journeyman. This is how I know the NFL. You got your veteran. Let's just take the Eagles, for example. You got Jalen Hurts. If Shedeur was in that system, just think about how great that is. He's playing behind somebody who's the hottest right now in the NFL. So he's learning at the highest level. But we know mobile quarterbacks don't last in this league. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying. All right? Like, you know that eventually Shedeur is going to be taking snaps. But yeah, if he's in a system, a good system that does football regularly, not that Selmo stuff that they're doing over there, not that Selmo's fun stuff they're doing over there in Cleveland. Okay? You my friend now, Selmo, so I can come for you, you can come for me. Let's go. All right, we don't want that Selmo fun stuff they're doing over there in Cleveland. I'm talking about being in a good system where he's the third quarterback. That means he's good on the roster. He's going to keep getting snaps in practice. He's going to keep working his way up. Year 2 and 3, we expect Shedeur to be playing football. That's what it is. So the Saints will be a perfect situation. That's my explanation for why I think he should go to the Saints.
I agree
No,
with that, Harry.
I disagree with it.
All right,
I'm gonna tell you why.
push back. I don't care. Go ahead.
Could not have Saints have picked Shedeur.
Oh, come on. Don't go back to the draft, man. Let's move forward, please.
You can't.
Yes,
You cannot.
yes.
Right. So let's
DC.
go. So let's move past that then. Once we
Yes,
say that's
please.
true. So what you're telling me is that I'm going to take a player that allegedly, now this is not what DC is saying. This is what's being reported, and we have to take this as information
Oh
into
Lord.
conversation.
Oh
That
Lord,
there was
DC.
the absorption of the playbook.
Oh
Then we're going to take him
no.
down there,
You're
flush
not leave
what he got.
that's the draft. I said let's leave that alone. And you say, okay, we're gonna go past that, but then you're gonna bring elements of the draft back in here.
Harry, you're basically saying so then that's fine. If you don't want it, I think that's valuable information, but let's just go with the
It's
point
not
that all
valuable information because that information is hearsay. We gotta now use what we got
what
because
I'm
he has
saying.
NFL snaps, whether it's preseason, it's preseason practice snaps. We don't need to go back to the whatever happened with that dance. Let's leave that alone.
I'm not gonna leave
Make
it
your
alone,
argument.
bro.
Let me see a
Now I
good
move
Yeah.
pushback.
past it,
Remember
but
what
I
we
ain't
did
gonna leave
yesterday,
it. I
DC?
can't because
DC,
you
remember
gotta.
what we did yesterday when I said don't use Shador? Try to
What
do this without using the draft. Let
what I'm
me hear
saying.
you.
Well, here's the thing. All right, I personally, I don't think you can discount that because that's valuable. That is critical information to it. But for the sake of the
You
discussion,
have to
let's
though.
throw that out there. I don't.
Yes, thank you.
I just
Leave
don't
it
agree.
alone.
All
Let
right,
me hear you say
all right,
without anything about the draft. Go
all right,
straight for that information. Let me
all
hear
right.
your
So
pushback.
so at the end of the day, is we're going to take him and put him on a team.
Mhm.
And then when do you expect him to start? How long do you think it's going to take him to get up to speed where he can be competitive?
I don't think it's going to take that long at all
Okay, and so
because
what you're
that
telling,
quarterback room is not the best room.
I don't, but what I'm saying is the other thing, I don't think that the Saints are going to be ready to give up on a second round pick just yet. I think they're going to let that individual get in the season, as well as you got Rattler who has been there for a while. So I don't think they're going to give up on these two guys that quick. What I'm saying is that it may look like the path to him starting could be the Saints quicker, but I think it's probably a lot quicker with the Browns than it would be with the Saints. They're still going to try to work their things out as far as internally before
I
they
see
decide.
what you're doing, but keep in mind that we're speculating here. So can you do this speculation without getting too real? Is that
I
possible?
I could if that's what you asked for,
But
I'm
I
fine.
thought that's what we were doing. We know that they're not going to just get rid of. We're doing scenarios here. Come on, DC,
All
help
right.
me out
So
here.
all
Help me
right. So
make some
here's the
good music
thing.
here.
All right, because here's the thing. I see the depth chart you got up there. The one I just saw didn't, but let's say Spencer Rattler is at the top. Um, Here's the thing. Why Neely is saying it, I don't know. That may be a preferred place they'd like him to go instead of the Brown. And I do think that's some messaging going on. Just like you have a Mary Kay on one side, you have an Uncle Neely on the other. You see how I did that? He's embedded. The point being is
Right.
that
So that means that whatever is coming out of Neely, it has to be somehow connected to the camp.
it got a thumbs up. I can tell you that. That's what I believe. It
Because
got a
you're not
thumbs
just
up.
going to be messing with Shedor's career and coach is sitting right there and letting you do it, right?
Yeah, I believe that. And then speaking on that, especially to a
Yo,
point,
Devin
because
Neal is there running back? Look at that. I didn't know he was with the Saints.
yes,
Okay, Devin Neal. Why they put a Q right there? What does the Q mean? Hold up. What does this Q mean? I don't know what that Q means. Anybody that knows
well,
football better than me, tell me what that Q means, please.
uh,
Questionable?
it may be that. And Asante, you don't have to hire me as your GM, but I tell you what, though, my team would be killing it out there. My team will be dominating Why? Because it's going to be facts over feelings. But what I'm saying to you is
Yeah,
this.
facts have gotten beaten too. So please, come on,
What I'm
you
saying
had
is
you had
what I'm.
Dion and all those
I
superstars on
understand.
one team, and we still lost. The rest,
Okay,
Washington Redskins were getting beat. So
but let's
facts can get killed too.
yeah, but let's go ahead and also look at this.
Feelings can win games.
But here's the thing: some people view look at it this way. Some I got to laugh at that one.
I know. How many games you think Phillies
Yes.
will win this season?
Hey, feel it. Hey, let's just say this though. All right, the Browns.
Phillies don't
Um,
win; they just get
right.
hurt.
They don't. They right. They don't win. They just get hurt. Right. But the fact still remains with the Saints as well as the Browns, because the Saints weren't that great last year themselves, and are expected actually to be the worst team in the NFL to some analysts. So here's the thing: you're gonna take him, he'll start, and it'll be just a situation where he don't have a lot of weapons around him. But it's where is they? That's what is projected. That's not what DC says. That's what the analysts are saying.
Oh, you talking
Listen,
about for the Saints or for the Browns? Because that's what
for
he's
the
had.
Saints. Right, right. Because like when people sit back and
Oh,
say,
but I mean, but DC, come on now. I mean, he's a rookie. He got to go somewhere. We gonna keep talking about weapons?
but that's what I'm trying to say is that you can send them anywhere. It's just that your expectation management, well, you know what? Forget talking about that because that's a waste of breath. Listen, you can send the Shedeur to any team you want. Y'all can pick it out, spin the wheel, go ahead and spin it. Wherever you want him to go, I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't have no
I
issues
love it.
with that.
I
It's
love
just
it
to a
when
point
DC's had
if we're
enough.
gonna see yeah, when we're gonna sit here and talk football, then you want to ask him to a point where he's gonna have the pieces in place to be successful, or do you want to see first year Colorado?
All right,
Well, fine.
let's bring on him. But him, before I bring you on, let me just say this before I bring him on, because he'd be ready to go as soon as you bring him on. Get it? Him on? Anyways. Um, so look, I think anywhere but the Browns is better for Shador because the Browns are dysfunctional. They're not a system where a young man can get decent quality like education, football education, because there's just like everybody just knows like this is bad for Shador. He just needs to be in a system where it's quiet. To say this is what it is. We can just sit back and enjoy football and grab our chips and our dip and stuff like that. I haven't even set my TV up in my studio yet, and I gotta call Verizon to come and put my other set top box in because the season's about to start. Like we just want to sit back and just enjoy the game. All this drama is for another day. So if Shador was at the Saints, I think that'll be a better situation because at least there we don't have to deal with the stupidity. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. It's just weird, man. This is come on, 6 quarterbacks, bro. Stop playing with me, man. All right, him. Hey, man, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you. How you doing today, brother?
What's up, fella? What's up? What's up, Harry? How y'all doing this morning, man? Evening.
Yeah, man. What are your thoughts, man? You go ahead, just jump in, man, please, because
Well, honestly, Harry,
feelings. We're doing
I
a whole
think you
lot
landed
today.
in the. I think it's the perfect situation, if you ask me, because based on what he's built for and what he's been going through, he always go to the worst team and make everybody look at him like, oh, he pretty good because he turned the thing around. So tomorrow night, here's another challenge for all the people that was doubting him at TCU, doubting him at Jackson State. Here's another chance to doubt him. I mean, don't act like it's not a lot of people that's going against him that's saying he's not that good anyway. So once he showed that he can play with anything, like you saying he need pieces, but now if he show out in Cleveland tomorrow, well, the narrative gonna change. Well, that wasn't Panthers starters and this, and that. But once he start winning in Cleveland, it's not gonna be too much you can say because everybody know the Cleveland Browns are trash. You know what I'm saying? Like when
Yeah,
11 and
one
1.
person say, is there anybody out there that think the Cleveland Browns are okay? Because it's a consensus
Well,
across.
there's a
Even
lot
the
of people
daggone
out here.
Cleveland Brown fans that think they suck.
If you follow Cleveland sports, a lot of those people think that Joe Flacco They only talk about 2023. They don't talk about what he did with the Colts last year. Like they don't talk about how bad he was last year. But the Cleveland Brown fans believe that.
Wait, Flacco played last year?
Yeah, for the Colts, he was horrible.
Oh, I thought he was on the bench and they called him. They was like, "Yo, come on over."
No, he got Anthony Richardson got benched for Joe Flacco, and they thought he was gonna do what he did with the Browns those last 5 6 games, and he was horrible. So you got the Brown fans that's thinking that, well, Joe, in 2023 we won 11 games and went to the playoffs. Yeah, they looking at that just because that's the lag success they had over the past 15 years. That's the only thing that. Well, Baker won a playoff game, I think, but after Baker, that's the only success they had. So they want Flacco to start, and then when he start falling off, they want Shedeur to come in. That's what the Cleveland fans want.
Hey
That's what
Harry,
they want. But yeah. Go ahead, Tim.
I was gonna say this. If the Saints got three quarterbacks on the roster that's listed at number one,
Mm-hmm.
that means that they don't have a starter, a solidified starter. So everybody, all three are competing for that number one spot. I used the term audition
Mm-hmm.
earlier on in the show. So if Shador comes out and has a good series against the first team defense of Carolina, and he
Well,
comes out
he's gonna be hot.
and
Like everybody's gonna want him.
and he has just say for instance he has a good first and second quarter. Like I wouldn't be surprised because I feel like the Cleveland Browns mind is made up with who they're showing they truly and genuinely believe in. I think the phone in the front office is gonna start ringing.
I think it will, man. I think at
After
least 3 teams are gonna start calling, bro.
Well, this is not Seattle, y'all.
after the third preseason game.
Y'all have to understand this fan base is passionate. So it don't matter who they want to put out there. If the player they put out there is not performing well, don't matter if they want to play him or not. You gonna hear we want Shador every game until they put him in.
Are they that type
We
of
talked
fan
about that.
base?
You missed that show.
Yeah, you weren't here.
No, I'm just saying because based off of like tomorrow's gonna tell a lot. So if he come out and he plays well, then you can't say, well, he's not ready. You can't say he don't get the ball enough. You can't say all the things that you've been saying up to tomorrow. You pretty much can't say that anymore.
If he performs it well,
But
Yes,
they
if he
haven't been
performs
saying
well.
that though.
the things, the little
Oh,
intangibles.
No, you remember the arm strength. He can't read the playbook.
no,
He
but
hold
that's
the
us saying
ball.
it. That's us, the media saying that.
That yeah,
We're the only ones saying that. Cleveland has
Hold on.
not come on the record to say anything.
Harry, you got to tap into Cleveland sports. Most of those reporters who are Dylan Gabriel fans and Joe Flacco fans, the one knock they say why Shador's not getting first team reps is because he can't get the playbook down and the play call down. That's why he's so far behind.
Well, that's
That's
Mary Kay, so I don't know
Mary
any.
Kay,
yeah.
Tony Grossi. It's a couple of them that
Oh,
work
okay,
for
yeah, you're right,
ESPN
you're right
Cleveland.
on that one.
They
But we
work for
talking
ES.
about
Listen
the
to me. I watched all the ESPN Cleveland shows. They work for ESPN Cleveland, not a YouTube channel. This is ESPN Cleveland we talking about.
Well, I mean, the beat writers, Mary Kay, we got to pay attention to her because she's the one that most people get their information from, and then they
That's
go
a
on those
fact.
shows and they start, they get their information from her because she's the Hall of Famer, and then they go on their shows, their podcasts or ESPNs, and then they start saying X, Y, and Z because all of them are quoting Mary Kay.
Daniel Forcier is the young black dude. He's the new reporter. Follow him on Twitter. He's at every practice. He
right.
works for ESPN too now.
But
So
that
he's
that's
kind
not
of
what we talking about though. We talking about the small intangible things that we saw with our eyes in college. His last year of college transition into the NFL.
yeah.
Holding
But
the
see,
ball
Tim, this
too
the
hold
thing
on,
though.
hold on. Holding the ball too long, not throwing the ball away, taking unnecessary sacks, footwork. Those small
Not knowing
intangibles.
how to hand the ball off.
not being able to hand the ball off correctly.
Right.
That's a
Th-
fact. All that is
th-
true, Tim.
exactly. So those small things, if you still displaying them over the preseason, then that phone is not gonna ring. If the
Oh no,
if the
no. I think you misunderstanding me, Tim. But I
okay,
hear
my
what you're
bad.
saying now. I hear what you're saying. You're right though. But what I'm saying is the reason why he's so far behind in getting first and second team snaps is because after college, once he got to camp, the talk from around Cleveland camp is the playbook is hard for him to get down, the play calling and his footwork. That's what they're saying.
So let me ask you all a question.
I think that was all 32 teams.
Now, hold on,
No,
hold on.
no,
Put a
no,
pin in that. Let me ask you
no.
a question. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I don't want to relitigate the draft. I'm so sick of it. I don't want to
I'm
go there.
talking about after the draft. See,
Hold
y'all
on.
getting
Right,
caught on the
right, right. So
draft.
stay right there. Stay right there, him. This means that when you are auditioning for the team, this means that they're giving you the playbook. Let me clarify my point. If what y'all are saying is right, because I remember Mary Kay's article came out like right away. So how do they know what you're incapable of doing for their team if they're not giving you the playbook when they draft you? So are they when they're auditioning, are they sending them the playbook? If not, then how do they know so quickly what they're lacking?
Okay,
They'll
I'm
ask
actually,
you
I'm
whiteboard
talking
work. They'll ask
there
you
you
what
go. There you
they'll
go. That's the
they'll put the
correct answer right
whiteboard
there.
up, and then they'll start asking, what
That's the
kind of
fact.
defense is it? What do you do? Who are you reading? What's your primary? What's your shift?
Thank you,
That
DC.
type of stuff. Yes.
Thank you, DC. That's the
So
correct
you're
answer.
telling me, okay, all right, let's stay right here. Let's stay right there. So remember Cleveland came to Boulder. They went to Boulder, right? For Mary Kay. So look, think about the timeline. For Mary Kay to have gotten that much information, to be able to write the article that she wrote right when he got drafted. So they made that assessment off a few whiteboard stuff.
Yes,
Now,
based on what
Harry.
the Giants said and based on the rookie mini camp. Yes.
So here's the thing, Harry. Which you know how there was like the Shriners game and the Senior Bowl and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did Shador play in?
He didn't play in
neither
any of
one
them.
of them.
None of them. So here's the thing. Those people got a chance to see what Dylan did at the Senior Bowl, which is one of his selling points. They got that. Matter of fact, there's this thing out there that said he got clocked at having one of the fastest velocity uh, as
Bro,
far as
Dylan's been playing
throwing.
for 20 years, so
Yeah,
they
I
saw him
understand
playing a
that.
billion games. So that
What what
don't
I
mean nothing.
Well, it does mean something. We can't discount that. What we're looking at is that Shador
But the
did not.
whiteboard stuff is not going in the Senior Bowl. You're not doing none of that.
You are
You're
doing
going
some of
back to
that.
how
You
many
are
games.
doing that.
You are doing some of that at those things. That allows them to have more of a some time with you versus like when y'all see
You're talking
them
about the
at
NFL.
The
yes,
NFL, yes.
So
yes.
the NFL is going to the Senior Bowls and they're presenting whiteboard stuff.
They run the Senior Bowl.
They
The
run the Senior
NFL
Bowl.
does.
That's a fact. That's a
So
fact.
they've got a bunch of coaches down there doing
That's a
that.
fact. That's a fact.
That's why.
It's a
So
fact.
so that may have been one of those things that was may have been not the best move to not play in that, though I understand the rationale why they were saying, hey, you don't want to risk being hurt or anything like that. The point I'm saying is that um I think that when you look at it, it wasn't that they were crazy about that. You only have so many times to talk to a team. And I think that maybe some of the times where they talk to him, again, this is not my personal opinion. It's just saying this is what might have happened where it was they didn't get to really, when they actually got to the whiteboard, it might not have gone as fluid as it did with others.
And to piggyback off that, some NFL players stated that once they do get to that whiteboard, it's it's prepared for you to fumble over it. They're not really 100% expecting for you to know every single thing that they throwing at you, but they are grading you as you going through whatever scenario they throwing at you on the whiteboard.
Yeah, but see, here's the other side to that whiteboard talk. All the players that was good in the whiteboard session, like the Jackson Darts and the Tyler Shucks and all that, is not translating to the field. So
The
you
whiteboard should not translate to the field. You got to be
hold on, Harry,
athletic, right?
hold on.
I
Yes,
was actually going to speak on that.
it do because this is why Gabriel is getting so many first team reps because they say his whiteboard translation is like computer. He got a computer brain, so they're thinking that if anything, I'm just telling you what the reporters are saying.
Trigger words for the Chitlin Circus.
That's what the reporters are saying in Cleveland. That he processed everything and he's like he got a computer brain. That's his biggest.
Don't say that around here, because when you say computer brain, that means that Shador has a doodoo brain.
Well, now it kind of makes sense though, Harry, because like they were saying, the guy played for 4 different colleges. He
Oh
played for
my god!
Oklahoma and Oregon, so he should process like a computer. At this point, he's been playing for 6 years. Shit, I mean, if he don't process like a computer by now, he ain't gonna never process. You understand what I'm
Harry B,
saying?
they basically folks look at it like Dylan is sitting up saying, well, actually, what happens if you take the circumference of the Mike linebacker while Shedeur said, me play football? No, that's not what's happening. It's basically saying that but him here go the thing, man.
Me
Here's the
playing
thing.
football. I gotta take that one.
Here's the thing that you can't
Pick a
have.
ball, throw a
Yeah,
ball.
yeah. Enjoy
Throw ball, handball off.
It's
Oh,
cracking up. The point being is that all right. So let me ask you this, him, as you cook.
God.
So if I'm accurate in practice and I'm throwing dimes and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know the all the stuff being able to pick up on as quickly on the defense and the playbook, but yet you have somebody that's good at it, but they're doing not doing so great. Who do you go with?
You typically go with the guy who's good at it, but he's not doing so great because they're looking at it like, well, he just need a tight end and he can be doing it, or he can just need a running back, or what they call it, the read option. If he work out the read option, he might be a little better. You understand what I'm saying? So it all depends on how many excuses the organization want to make. Like Anthony Richardson, for example. Anthony Richardson came out, played a little bit of college football. He was the strongest. They say his arm was strong. He went top five, if I'm not mistaken. He was a top five draft pick. But now that they're seeing that, oh, his processing and his whiteboard skills, he a freak athletically. But in the classroom, he can't get the reads. So now they're seeing like that's another thing that's knocking Shador because players like Anthony Richardson, even like CJ Stroud when he first came out, they were saying that he can't read the books, the plays, and all this and that. Came out, had one of the best rookie years ever. But the second year, when he had the slump, people went back to, oh, CJ Stroud can't read the plays and the whiteboard stuff. So it's all about how you perform
So can I
after.
ask a question?
You gonna put the product who knows that whiteboard in the playbook before you put the talent out there,
That's a
because
fact.
they got to be able to orchestrate that
That's true.
offense.
Unless,
I,
unless you a Tim Tebow or Lamar Jackson, they can just make plays.
so let me ask a question, because I think all of this is painting a picture of what we're trying to not say. And I think y'all know where I'm about to go with this. Is it true that black players are more athletic and the white players are smarter?
That's a
That's
hundred
No,
percent
false.
fact.
That's a
no,
false. That's a false statement.
no.
Why you getting so personal, Tim?
That's the narrative they're
Why you
Because
pushing.
I
jumping on
couldn't.
this?
I can't believe you just
Why are
stated
you
that.
jumping all over this so quickly? but but isn't but are you seeing a thread here? You're not seeing a narrative
No,
forming.
Harry, that's a
Y'all
fact.
just
That's
said
why most quarterbacks
It
back
you
been
then
like
were
literally
that.
white.
just went down the line of quarterbacks, and like as y'all were talking, this is exactly what y'all was saying. All of the black quarterbacks are athletic and they can play, but the white quarterbacks are they smart and they can figure out the classroom stuff, but they don't figure it out on the field because they're not as athletic. That's just the simple thing that you're saying.
That's how it been since football has been played. That's why most quarterbacks back then were white.
That's not what I'm saying. What I would sit back and say
Hold
this.
on, DC. No, let me. Tim spoke out. Let me hear Tim because he was the
Okay.
one that jumped out and said that's false. So like, protect your black men. Go ahead, Tim. Come on, Dr. Umar.
Hey, the last 5 years, the last 5 years, who won Super Bowls?
That's athleticism. It took them 5 years to
No.
learn the playbook.
Hurts and Mahomes. Hurts and
Okay.
Mahomes. Two
Okay.
black QBs. Right.
Exactly. So you can't,
Athleticism, though.
man. Please, they have to orchestrate the offense. They have to be trusted.
Yeah, but Patrick
Every
Mahomes
hey,
is better when he's out the pocket.
no him. We talking about a business. Men who have to feed families. Men that have mortgages. They'll say it in a heartbeat. Hey, you need to get him out here, man.
Hey, but Tim, can I push back while you're talking?
Go ahead.
Okay, so listen to this. Every time something happens, they're able to get at least one or two examples and say, well, look at this. They can do it. Could that be the difference? Could that be the anomaly?
No,
It's not an indictment against all black men. Not all black men started their education at 12 years old like I did, right? So if you were to try to judge all black men against Harry B, then you would be doing yourself a disservice. I think that's what a lot of people do. We're not indicting all black men, but when you talk about the majority, what y'all just said, what DC and what him was just saying about the quarterbacks, if you listen to them, it sounds like, yeah, the majority of black players are very athletic, but when it comes to those blue, white, green, and when it comes to that playbook, they have a hard time interpreting the playbook fast enough but the white players seem to have it.
Can I
You
push
know why,
back in the
Harry?
middle?
Maybe we
Hold
should
on,
just get together and just be like, okay, look, you can do this, you can do this. Why can't we help each other?
Hey,
that's how I think we can get rid of racism.
Can I push back in the middle of your
Yes.
statement like you did to me?
I was
Okay.
done. I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna add this whatever flavoring you like on top of your cake.
Okay. I don't like cake, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. Whatever sauce you like on top of your goat meat. Okay.
My man. Go ahead, Tim.
It's like this. There's a
Crazy.
there's a portion of this where politics play in the part.
That's what Rudy Wright was just saying. Rudy Wright said Shedor's losing the politics game.
So what I'm saying is, if we are more athletic, which that's Ray Charles could be able to see that.
Okay.
Where else do they have a position to play besides the front office?
Are you trying to protect their job?
No, I'm saying there's a lot of talented, smart African American quarterbacks that we know should have been above others, but the politics fall in line.
But Tim, are you pushing back on what I just said? Because you said you wanted to push back on what I said.
I just pushed back on what you said.
No, you didn't, because you're still talking about.
Well, let me ask you this.
No, hold on. Let us finish this. Let's land this plane, and you can have it back. You're not addressing the anomaly.
Why? How am I not?
Because you're still talking about the anomaly.
No.
Yes.
I like that too.
We're not talking about. We're not indicting the entire black community of athletics. We're saying that yes, you will get the Mahomes or those people who can get it, because there are smart black men that can get this thing, and they will do it. But if we're talking about the majority, because these guys just listed a bunch of quarterbacks, I was just listening, but the common thread in that was, oh, wait a minute. It sounded like what they were saying is the black quarterbacks are more athletic, and they can, once they get on the field, they can make stuff work.
Hmm.
But the white quarterbacks, oh, they're good in the classroom, and they can figure out what's going on that board. They can see it faster, but when they get on the field, they don't know how to do it as good as the black athletes. Some of them do. You see what I'm saying? But it's not all the white men that don't have the athleticism. But we can still say, look, but those are the anomalies. So
That's
you
where
got,
the politic part come into play at.
but you can't say it's politics with anomaly. That's the exception. Like,
Majority.
there, like when we say black men need opportunities, and then they
Hmm.
say, oh, but look at Stephen Smith, Stephen A. Smith. He's rocking in that ESPN. We like he's the exception. So there are exceptions in each thing that we're talking about, but it's still a fact because when you talk about the majority,
Hmm.
that's what you're getting. You're getting the Shadors, you're getting the quarterbacks that can play like the ones that prior to Shedeur,
Hmm.
but they're still having an issue with the playbook because there's so much going on.
But Harry, let me just say this real quick.
I'm
All right.
not. I'm not eating it.
Right. So here's the thing
You
I'm gonna
want
say,
to be
and
the president of the chitlin circus. That's what you want. You want to be the
no,
ringleader.
no,
No, I'm
no, I
talking
do
about Todd
not.
Smith. He
Oh,
wants
no,
to he
no.
wants to lead that group into
Right.
like
So
freedom.
check this out.
The freedom.
Here's what I've seen, and I think him and Tim, even the chat will understand this. Most of the time, when kids are learning in Pee Wee football, and they
Hmm.
see that you got a young black kid that can sling it and he can run it,
Hmm.
so you don't really have to give them a whole lot of plays. It can
No.
just be, hey, here it is. Go out there and do your magic. And then it's kind of the same thing when they get into college. They're not learning a ton of stuff in
Hmm.
college. They're just learning some basic and they're recruiting them based upon their measurables and numbers to college. All right, when they get to college, many of these programs they condense it. So that kid hadn't been challenged in Pee Wee, hadn't been challenged really in high school. Now he
Mm.
gets to college, and the coach is not sitting there going, "Okay, I'm not finna sit here and just try to make this person a genius. I'm going
Mm.
to sit there and get the plays that they like playing, and then and so I can win some games." So then they put them out there in college, and then now we get to the pros. There's a high demand, so I think in our system with how we groom those in our community with that, we just kind of pass it along to it gets to a point where now you have no choice but to learn it. But if you'll notice, there are some programs that do not play that at all. For example, Alabama, you take your tours, you take your hurts, you take those type of QBs or with Jalen Daniels down at LSU. Well, a lot of those schools they don't play that. If you're not able to read some things, basic book terminology or stuff like that,
You're not playing.
still hear me?
Yes.
Can you
You're
hear
cooking
me?
for
All
DC's
right.
cooking
So
for the
so
very
here's
first time.
right. Look, I'm cooking for the very first time. So now you see some of these players. I
Oh
love
man.
it. So that's what's happening now. And some of them, it takes them a minute to get in and learn and do the work because they're just being used to compressed playbook and they just have been good athleticism. You look at Jalen Hurts, it took him a moment to get it, but he stayed in it. And I'm going to equate that to Shador, where Shador has had the training and stuff. But folks, we got to be honest, a lot of their plays were due to breakdowns. They weren't always used to actually formalized playing. That doesn't mean that Shador can't do it. It just basically means to a point where if we think about it, like for example, did y'all see Colorado do a whole lot of pre-snap motion?
Mm-mm.
Did you see a whole lot of? I saw Shador barking some signals and things out there, so that was always a good sign for me. That's all I'm saying. Is that this may be to a point where they didn't have to, but now in the NFL they have to, and it takes them a moment.
Well, I had to disagree with that part because when you got a player whose completion percentage is that high, no matter what he's doing in a classroom, he's making the right reads on the field.
Him,
So a
him,
lot of that is like
I got
something
him,
pushback.
fine,
I got
him.
some
pushback on
something
that.
fine to knock on him. But I was trying to say, like when you was talking about the quarterbacks, most of those black quarterbacks that can relate to the quarterback position in college, I mean in the NFL, are also good at baseball. You understand what I'm saying? Because if something had to be said about the two sports, they combine with the quarterback. If you can look at Patrick Mahomes and his daddy, you can look at Deion Sanders. Shador might not play baseball, but he got it in his system. You understand what I'm saying? Jameis Winston was a great baseball player. Russell Wilson got drafted baseball. Kyler Murray got drafted baseball. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stroud was good at baseball. A lot of those quarterbacks that are black are also good at baseball because the baseball game is more field. It's not too much chalkboard in the baseball classroom. It's all field play. You understand what I'm saying? So a
I
lot
got
of
I
those
got
black.
pushback though.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So here's my pushback with you and the Texas Truth. That Texas hot sauce is all vinegars, by the way. So come for me if you want.
It's cap, but go ahead.
Anyway, no, okay. So when you say 70% completion, you pretty much know the playbook. That's the Texas Truth. And then you're saying you want to go with the guy with the 70%. Here's what it is.
No, the reads, not the playbook. You know the
Well,
reads.
I'm saying that I said that part was the Texas Truth because he said let me put his quote up. He said if you 70%, you absolutely know the playbook. That is not true. So
Yeah,
here
I
you go.
disagree with that. True, that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. Well, so because the playbook, you know, if the playbook says here is X, Y, and Z, like you playing a video game and you see those dots going, he can literally not have to adhere to what is being called and still make a play. So, and he can be because he's accurate. So everything that we're saying right now that we've said prior to this and DC is saying, it has a lot of credence to it because of what we're accustomed to hearing in the NFL, where now we're hearing it with Shedeur, and it's like almost reminiscence of what we've been hearing about the players and at the quarterback position. But I don't think we should take it as an indictment against black people being stupid and white people being smart. Because if we do that, then that's where it becomes a fight. You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm looking at it now, because it's like we don't gotta fight.
Harry,
If white people know how to do credit, why don't we go to the white people and be like, hey, yo, teach me about credit? If they know the book, we say, hey man, teach me about that play. And if we know how to get around certain things, like okay, let's just use the Colorado running back, the white boy, what's his name? That just retired.
Charlie Alfredor.
Okay, Charlie Offerdale. You think Charlie Offerdale got where he's got because he was so athletic? No, it's because he knew that playbook. You see what I'm saying? Charlie
Yeah.
Offerdale knew the playbook.
but here
Yeah.
go the
But he
thing
was
though.
lacking the athleticism part. If he had the athleticism part and what he knows about the playbook, so at this point we should be like, all right, cool. We can accept who we are or what we are without saying somebody else is better. We're not better than them. They're not better than us. We just need to figure out how to get both things working at the same time.
That's the right speech, Harry, but there's not no truth to that. I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with you.
But there's not no truth in what aspect of it.
Because it is not something I'm saying. It's just based off of history. Even if you that can't get right character is trying to tell you something. That black people are athletic and talented, but they're not that smart. Before us, Harry. Not what we saying. This was when they started making professional sports. The white man automatically assumed that the black man could not catch on to his concepts and he's not book smart.
Right.
That's
So
just
we
what
know that's a myth. That's a lie. We know that.
But Tim, I want to tell you this something I realize is that you have to know how to play the game. So, for example, um, I was one of few black pilots. All right, and one time this white guy came up, one of the white officers who was a pilot said, "Hey Carson, how come we don't have more black pilots?" I said, because y'all don't talk to black people about being pilots. So I made it my mission to when I saw somebody squared away, I would pull them to the side, and other people would that were black pilots. We would tell them what the test, how to take the test. We didn't tell them to cheat. We just told them what the test would be on there and how we practice. We told them how to answer interview questions, all kind of stuff. And it got to a point when they walked out, one of my colonels asked the guy, he said, how did you know all this? Who prepped you? And then when he went in and realized, because the black pilots or going before the board were killing it, because they already had somebody that told them exactly how to say it, how to play the game. And that's how in our community, sometimes we're like, oh, you trying to just, we ain't like that. We just finna go in here and do X, Y, Z, yada, yada, yada. No, I'm sorry. You still have to play part of the game, but you don't deny yourself. You don't minimize yourself. And so I think what's going on now as we have these conversations with this one is that as we are mentoring young people, we got to kind of pull them to the side and say, hey, you need to know that playbook. Hey, you need
This
to
is
make
how you
sure
do
you
it
know
the
your
right way.
stuff. Right, like
Hey,
Harry
we have
does
an
with his
example
son.
too.
Yeah.
We
Go ahead.
wasn't Cormani McLean an example of that? And then like when people started holding him more accountable, like he was
Exactly.
freakishly athletic, but then when he got to the college ranks, he didn't know the playbook. People was
Yeah,
yelling at him on the field.
because they didn't really
Like,
have to, because they didn't develop good. Also, I
right, because
see
the
that
high
they
school
don't
coach just
develop
wanted
good.
to win.
Right. Also, sometimes people don't develop good practice skills. And you heard what Prime say, if your practice suck, you ain't getting out here. So
Mm-hmm.
those are things in our community that I know, like when we say, hey, we want to support and be loving and be positive. No, positive is also getting in that behind and telling them, hey, yo, you messing up. This what you need to learn how to do. Do it again. Do it again. Mr. Miyagi on them. And that's how we get this excellence. I'm done.
So
But
JR
see, you have
Boxing,
to hold on here, hold on.
JR Boxing. I'm just talking about the hot sauce. He said to try the actual Texas brand hot sauce. We call it small axe peppers. That's
That's
the
cap.
best one.
I'm from Houston, Texas. Louisiana hot sauce is the best. Let's change this subject, bro.
That's cap too. I don't
I'm just
trust
telling
none of
you.
y'all
I'm
hot
just
sauce.
telling you. You go to every
All I be
restaurant in
tasting is a
Texas, they
bunch of
have
vinegar
Louisiana
with
hot
like
sauce.
red dye. It's just a bunch of vinegar with red dye, and then y'all swear y'all got the best. Like stop playing with me, man. Anyways, go ahead. Let's get back to football. Go ahead, him. What did you want to say? We got to end this show. It's 106, 109 right now. Louisiana hot sauce is the best. Come on, the Texas truth. Come on now.
Hey,
No,
Fred's is right up there
Louisiana hot.
too.
Hey, come on. Let's not get too deep in there. Louisiana hot sauce is the best, bro. Let's not. Come
Yeah,
on.
Louisiana hot sauce and Fred's is right there,
That's the
man.
best.
Hey,
I'm
Todd
But
just
Smith, are
Harry,
you
saying.
still here? Because you got another thing coming up.
I want to speak on this. How many
Hold on,
times
hold on.
have
Let me check.
all
Let
of
me make sure
us?
Todd Smith is still here. Todd, are you still here?
He
Okay.
probably took a break.
No, hold on,
But
hold on.
how many
Let me.
times have we, all of us, been in schools and know somebody that was in school, and there's this awesome athlete, and the only knock is on him is his grades are not good. We have seen that a lot. Come on, everybody have saw that. Even in
Are you
movies.
talking about the color players or the
No, I'm saying there's one athlete that everybody know that went to school with that whatever.
uh-huh.
He was all city, all state, whatever. But the grades wasn't there. Whether he wasn't going to school, wasn't he failing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was the grades. You understand what I'm
Bro,
saying?
all that great stuff you're
So
talking about, the chat want to talk about hot sauce, bro.
go ahead. I mean, hot sauce and fish. I love it.
Hey, that Louisiana hot sauce go the hardest. I don't care what
Now
nobody
Tim
tell
is
me.
jumping back.
That
y'all want
Texas hot sauce ain't hitting on nothing.
to change this. No, let me let him finish his comment. What were you saying? Okay, so what was
No,
your
I'm
point?
just saying how the narrative always been black athletes' grades, so they have to go to HBCUs and other small schools before they get to a Power Five because their grades not good. How many times have we heard that in our lifetime?
So what are you saying? Like
Plenty.
laying your plane. I want to know
What I'm
where you're
saying
going
is
with this.
that the narrative has already been pushed and it's going to keep being pushed about black players. And
But is it true? Is there truth in that narrative, or are you saying that there are anomalies?
there is truth because, like I just said, we all know some players who was great on the field but didn't have the grades.
But I'm gonna give you a flip side, him. Auburn had several players that even went to the league and couldn't read. And you know why that happens? A lot, and that is not uncommon from back in the day. It's because when you're an athlete, so many people sit here and they pass them on because they know, hey, he ain't a student, but they'll say he's just a little touched, and they'll go ahead and promote them. and continue to do that because they're an athlete, because everybody wants to see their team win. Unfortunately, it gets them on the backside. But I mean, we have to acknowledge that sometimes, with especially if we're saying, hey, that athleticism is a way to financial freedom. I mean, what is a teacher to do? Hold that kid back, or just promote them and let them do what? Play football, right?
Yeah, I mean, but that's been a long conversation though. So, but when it comes to Shedeur, let's wrap this up. When it comes to Shedeur, his situation is unique because he has a father of a NFL legend, right? So when you're talking about Shedeur, the reason why it's hard for people to believe that, oh, he's struggling with the playbook is because you're like, oh man, I saw what he did. I saw his daddy is Deion Sanders. But what if he was caught up in the system where he was just athletic, or he was good, not athletic, not that athletic, but he was good enough to just go through the system. But now he's having to face that NFL playbook where one play can have 10 or 20 different schemes. Are we saying that he can't get it? We're saying that I think we're saying is he can get it, but it's going to take him a little longer to get it. But because he's good and he already has the other intangibles, you want to keep him around and bring him along so that when he gets it and the intangibles meet, that's where it happens. And you can do it on the flip side too. Can we say the flip side for Dylan? Can we say, okay, he may not be as accurate and as athletic, well, we can't say athletic, but as accurate and good with the football as Shedeur, but he's good with the playbook. But we just got to give him time, and you think he's going to catch up? Is that true? Is the opposite for Shedeur true, and is the opposite for Dylan true?
But isn't that what they reported? Is that, hey, they will give him a little time to, get up to speed on some things. That was what was reported, right?
I think that's what most people were saying, but I don't think that the community was willing to accept it.
But that's why I made the point, is that I know we don't like to hear anything that's not complimentary or flattering, but that doesn't mean that just because you don't like the messenger don't mean the message was wrong. And
So
that's go ahead.
I think from Lady PC, she said just don't abuse them in the process. I think that's when you get a mix of journalists versus podcast hosts. The lines are very blurred. There are a lot of opinion pieces. The journalists are just going to report what it is. The podcast hosts and the commentators, they're not journalists, but because they're using what the journalists are reporting, and then they're making this, the lines are so blurred, you don't know what to accept, or you don't know what to even think. But a lot of these people that are talking, there's only a few journalists that are going to be providing that information to all of the different channels. Because everybody can't be a journalist. So you only got one or two real journalists that are in there. The rest are just commentators or analysts. That's all they are. They're analysts. They analyze the data, or they analyze what's being reported, and they just give an opinion based on their expertise. People have to understand the difference. So when you say just don't abuse them in this process, let me speak on that real quick so we can get up out of here. The process is going to be, okay, we talked about it yesterday. We said that there is white media bias. Roland Martin talks about this a lot, where we need black reporters and black journalists to be also in the mix, because they know our situation, they know our story, and they know how to report on us. Even if we don't know the playbook, they will know how to write those words so it doesn't seem like an indictment. That's why it's important that we have black journalists that are doing the job, as well as black analysts that don't have an agenda, like your Jason Whitlocks and people like that. You don't want those people. You want good analysts that are not already bought by white media to make us look bad. You need black analysts that are going to give the information in a way that only black people can understand it. But yes, I agree with you, Lady PC, that white people don't necessarily know, white journalists don't necessarily know, or commentators, some of them have agendas, but some of them don't know how to report on us. They always sound like they're indicting us. That's what I think is going on. So you are right. If you don't abuse him, but you can tell us, oh, he needs to work on that playbook, just like Ocho said, like, yo, that playbook is crazy. And I was saying the same thing about Jimmy Horn. I'm sure Jimmy Horn is fourth string because of that playbook. Because he's freakishly athletic. He's fast. But why is he fourth string? Can anybody tell me why Jimmy Horn would be fourth string? I know you got T Mac on that team as well, but any thoughts on that before we get up out of here? Any rebuttals? Any what's the name you want to say before we get up out of here?
I don't think none of those players, I don't think most of those players are inefficient football players, and a lot of them have talent. It is, folks, I'm just telling you, having dealt with young men for over 2 decades, sometimes it just takes them a moment. Sometimes it's off the field stuff that you'll never know about, or like, what they say, off work issues that their head, like you're trying to get them in the game. I'm not talking about Shador. You asked a question about other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This happens in our community. You understand is that sometimes harsh can be abuse, but sometimes they need harsh to shake them. And so I think sometimes, like when I watch like Prime get on the folks or get on the Kamani or stuff like that, at first I was like, no, it's like, okay, I can understand. He probably is at a place that mentally he's just not there. He needs a change of scenery. And so I think, like, I'm gonna use this just to talk about our community, just 10 seconds. It's that I understand that we don't want to be abused, but sometimes it's not going making somebody great. Sometimes it don't look good. It doesn't look good until you see the finished product.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wish we had more time to really dig into that because we customary to kind of like help the community out here. But morning, thank you, DC, for sharing that because I think that's poignant. That's very poignant what you just said, and we need to talk about that more because if you pacify somebody, you're doing them a disservice. You feel me? Like you're really doing them a disservice. But Morning Coffee says, how can you develop black journalists when you keep giving retired athletes the job? That's what I talked about. The retired athletes are not getting journalist jobs. They're getting analyst jobs. There's a difference between an analyst and a journalist. The analyst is the one that takes what the journalist says, and then they provide their former NFL or former athletic priors or whatever they had. That information that they got, they are a wealth. Like I mean, they make great podcast hosts because you sit there and they're giving you stuff like if I watch the Truth or the Talk or the Speak or whatever the name of the shows are. When I watch these former guys, and I'm so glad that they're in the fold now, they're doing their own thing now. We get so much inside information, but they're not doing the job of a journalist. Those guys are not. The journalist job is somebody that goes to school, learns how to really be a journalist, and they get hired from by some type of news outlet, and they go in there and they're able to provide us information that is strictly just the information. We ain't talking about your opinion, even though journalists do have opinion columns. But when you read those newspapers or they go on, sometimes they'll go on the channels, they'll be the first person that you will see. They're there to just provide the information, and then you will see that they will turn to the panel to now give their opinions because these panel members are the ones that used to do it. So we need that information. But no, there is no such thing as the former athletes are getting the journalist jobs. No, 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 no. The former athletes are getting the analyst jobs. Hopefully that helps. And all right, final thoughts. DC, you go first. Actually, let me get him. You go first. You don't get final thoughts. You just leave before the final thoughts. So let me get you first if you're still here. Final thoughts, please. Let's go. Unplug your mic if you're still here. He probably already checked out. He left this. What's the name? DC, you go first.
I guess I'm going first and last.
Yeah,
The
right.
thing being is that hey, looking forward to a phenomenal game. I don't even know how I'm gonna watch it. If anybody's got something out there that say, hey, here's a good place to go to watch the game, that's fine. I'm looking forward to it. But I mean, Terry, just to summarize, great conversation because it's not knocking Shador, looking at strengths and some needs improves and weaknesses. That doesn't mean you don't support somebody. And notice there's a difference between all three of those. It just basically means we're having a conversation, and when as he's fixing those things, for example, his footwork to me has gotten way better. Those are great things to celebrate on. So that's it.
But I think the idea of what the conversations that we have around here, and I'm sorry to all my people that try to send me an email to join the panel, JR Boxing Tennis Channel. I'm sorry, guys. I saw it late, and we're closing out the show, so I'll get y'all on the next one. But yeah, but I think what DC just said is important. We got to have these conversations because I think there are people, creators, content creators, and other people that are around that don't really understand our community, and we need to be able to have these discussions. You know what I'm saying? Without, fighting and biting. These discussions are important because it allows the outside community to understand why some things are going on. Why sometimes how you hear other people talking and while they're in your inbox or they're in your chat group and they're saying all these things about Shedeur. You need to understand where that's coming from so that you don't just write them off or so that you don't just say, oh, they're stupid. No, they're coming from a place where our community has been disenfranchised for so long. We're coming from a place where everything kind of looks the same. So you need to have these nuanced discussions so be able to unbox some of these things that you're hearing in your chat rooms and you're hearing in your comment sections, so you will know where they're coming from, and then we can have a broader, bigger conversation about now. Since we have arrived, now that you know where it's coming from, now you will understand that you don't just write people off because they're pissed off and the way you've been treating them for so long. That's why some of these people are out here with their machetes and they say, I'm going to leave the Bible at home for right now. I'm ready to cut it. You know what I'm saying? So we can all understand that these conversations are necessary, and I'm glad that we're able to have it here and be adults about it. I appreciate y'all coming on. Him, thank you for coming on. DC, I appreciate you. Thanks for adding your voice and your expertise. We will see you on the next show, guys. Peace.
Yeah.